modern day masculine man, take one.
Ooh, what makes a modern day masculine man? When you drink your liquor straight, a modern day masculine man. I pay all the bills and I tells my woman the truth. Got my shit together, do what I wanna do, say what I wanna say. I won't bend, I won't break, you are not me and I am not you. I kept it real, so now I can do what I wanna do. Modern masculine man. Welcome to Man School.
Welcome to the Modern Masculine Man Podcast, Mitch. Woo!
Yo, what up? How y'all doing tonight? Before we get started, I want to get a sound check. I hope Miss Delise in the house, somebody who can tell me if we are being heard, broadcasted into the stratosphere and all atmospheres.
Amen.
Tonight is a special night. It's something we starting. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just have to start some shit. Sometimes something starts you. That's what my granddad had to say. Either you're going to start it or it's going to start you. You know what I'm saying? So last night was a situation where Tuesday night we had great viewership. Wednesday night we had great viewership. So I feel like we got some momentum going. Hey, Kirby, how you doing? Do you hear our sound? Are we good?
Are we good, Kirby?
So I feel like we had some momentum going. So I said tonight, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Let's see what happened. Whether you and this is the thing when you do something like this. In real life, I want to talk about something because we're gonna get into a subject because we're talking about the soul of Black folks tonight. You know how they say you can feel something in your soul, right?
Yes.
You can feel something in your soul, so-called. These are euphemisms, rhetoric sayings that we say. So, for example, I'm gonna use it how we talk.
Okay.
I felt it in my soul that we should go live today and keep the momentum going. And even with having one or two or three or four people on the panel, however many come on, it's a situation where it's kind of like, let's move on this, right?
Yeah.
Again, today, what happens? The spirit started talking to you. The spirit, the voices you can't hear, the thems, the days.
Yeah.
And oh, it's Thursday night. It's Thursday night football. Ain't nobody gonna tune in on Thursday night football, right?
Right.
That self-doubt that you hear. That remember we were talking last night, we were talking about that negative self-talk.
Yes.
You said something last night before we get into the conversation. I want you to really explain a little bit further to the people.
Okay.
That negative self-talk all day today. All day today. I say it all the time. You can choose to watch a movie,
Yes.
or you can choose to watch a nightmare. And it's literally up to us. But either way, you don't know what's going to happen, right?
Right. Yes.
So I today, instead of choosing to watch the movie the whole day, we going live tonight. We having our first round table. It's gonna be great. I could choose to think that, right?
Yes, of course.
Or I could choose to think, man, it's Thursday night football. It ain't gonna be a lot of people here, right?
Right.
And it's literally my choice.
Mhm.
But either way, I don't know if I'm right or not.
No.
Last night you said it's hard for you to treat a man well when you're in a certain phase because of the negative self-talk that you put on yourself, because you won't even treat yourself right. Can you delve more into that and give the people some examples of being unforgiving of yourself and not choosing to treat yourself right? Because I got it and it sounded so good and I feel like we glazed over top of it. But I think people in general need to know some examples, and I'm going to give some examples of myself when I know I don't treat myself well. And if I don't treat myself or love myself, how can I pass that on to somebody else? Can you delve into that a little bit more for me?
Absolutely. Welcome, everybody. It's your coach, Carla Nicole. I do readings, I do coaching, so feel free to reach out to me. Here's my number, 844-594-7366. You can text me, call me if you need coaching. Now, in answer to your question, I'm so glad you brought this up because I think I am going to nosedive into this topic. And I think I'm going to call it honest soul talk. What do you think about that?
Bam. I like it. I like it. I like it. Because we're talking about the soul, and tonight we're talking about the souls of Black folks.
Yes. Well, I think what's hard, and I think I talked about this last night. What's hard about us is we have a tendency to have conversations with self in private. Now, if you can remember when we were young, a lot of people would be ridiculed for talking to themselves. Like, who are you talking to? Oh, I was just talking to myself. Don't pay me no, never mind. Oh, I was just talking to myself. And people don't realize that when we kind of shove it off or we act like it's no big deal, we really don't realize the power of words.
Yeah.
I'm honest, and you know this because you're a wordologist. If I'm honest with when I'm talking to myself and I'm putting myself down, in other words, if I'm saying stuff that's negative, so we actually have a speedometer when it goes up and down, or a thermometer when it's up and down in temperature. So sometimes we feel a way about certain things about ourselves that we will tell no one outside of us that we hate about ourselves, but we don't express it outwardly for other people to hear, but we'll say it to us. Like, man, I hate it when I do such and such. I can't stand it when I do this. Or we'll say something like, man, every time I go over there, perfect example of what happened to me recently, I had a intuition, or should I say I had a first thought. And I said something told me to follow my first mind, and I didn't do it. Those are negatives that we tend to put on our soul, and we have a tendency to feel a way about that. And so, for instance, when you're in a love affair, or your children bring it up, or your coworkers say something to you in line with what you already say to you, have a tendency to feel a undeniable sense of grief, embarrassment, disappointment, hurt, and we begin to shell and close in on our spirit. So what we do with that is we become unforgiving, and we get cold inside ourselves. We do a soul freeze inwardly by hating certain things. And mind you, when we use the word hate, we're thinking we're glassing over it, or we're thinking the word hate really isn't that bad, but it really has an energy when we say, I hate something about myself.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we say that word, we could say, this is something I need to change. This is something I need to reconsider. You know a lot of words, Javon, so you know how to come up with a different way to say it to yourself, but we're very lax in how we talk to ourselves. So we'll just say, I hate that stuff that I do, or I can't stand it when I forget such and such, or I don't never do something right. But also we have to think back to childhood. What we were told when we were young. It doesn't necessarily have to mean it's by a parent, but it could be. But it can also be something we overheard about ourselves, and we internalized it. Because when I was young, I was in the first grade. I'll never forget it. I was sitting in the back, and I could hear my teacher, Mrs. Graham, tell my mother she doesn't follow directions. I said, oh, really? She doesn't follow directions well. And that small little thing went for years of me believing it. So it was a belief I developed from just hearing it or overhearing it, and then internalized it. And then whenever I would fall short on making on somebody telling me to do something, and I fell short in an evaluation or in a relationship or as a parent, I started to fall deep into this shell of going right back to when Mrs. Graham said I didn't follow directions.
I think a lot of people don't realize I have this concept called seventh grade self. And I'll never forget, I ain't going to say who it is, but a person close to me flunked the seventh grade. They failed the seventh grade. And they really didn't fail the seventh grade. It was a situation where their mother, the principal basically said to their mother, send a letter home. I was with them. We got off the school bus. He snuck and opened the letter as if it wasn't in an envelope. So once he opened it out of the envelope, he put a staple in it to try to seem like that's how it was sent home. And we read the letter, and the letter basically said, your son has not made satisfactory progress to pass the seventh grade. However, he went through some things this year. I believe if I pass him to the eighth grade, he'll do well next year. I'm put him in a certain teacher's class, but I want to have a meeting with you to discuss this so he can go to the eighth grade. His mama looked at him and said, I ain't going to that damn school. Your dumb ass is going to stay behind a year. I remember it clear as day. And I think the mom was trying to show him a tough, hard lesson. That's what I'm thinking. Now that I'm an adult, I think she was trying to show him a tough, hard lesson saying, I ain't going down to that damn school and bail you out of this situation. I'm going to let you fail for whatever you did. But when she put that with your dumb ass, this person, I'm not going to say who they are.
Right.
This is about 4 years ago. We sitting around having some drinks, chilling, and he break out fucking crying as a 47-year-old man talking.
That pain, man. That
but
pain.
let me tell you how. That's what we talking about, the soul. You said that scar, and that's what we're gonna get into, because you know I'm a teacher. I'm setting up that scar.
Yes.
And I just remember we sitting around drinking, and we was gambling. We was playing Tunk, and I said something that triggered him. We was playing Tunk, and when you drop your cards to win the money, you have to add your cards up. And he dropped his cards, and in playing Tunk, 13 and under is automatic. You know what I'm saying? And then no, under 13 is automatic, and 13 is double. If you get exactly 13.
Okay.
So he dropped his cards. He said 13 double money. And you know, we count behind him, and it was really 12. So we said, ain't no double money. You burnt your pot. You added it up wrong. Mm-hmm. And whoever catch him get to keep the whole pot, and he has to pay them.
Okay.
So I caught it, and I just bust out laughing. Got your ass trying to drop all fast, ain't counting your shit up, can't add worth a motherfucker.
Oh, Lord.
And boy, that shit turned into a fuck you mean I can't add, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, nigga, you ain't add your shit up right. You know, we drinking at this point. I don't give a fuck. I ain't thinking about your past. I said, you ain't add your shit up right. Give my motherfucking money. And he like, well, I'm going to give you your motherfucking money, but you ain't got to call me dumb. I said, ain't nobody call you dumb, motherfucker. And he was like, you know, I don't like nobody calling me dumb. And I said, nigga, I ain't nobody call you motherfucking dumb. You keep saying I call you dumb, I'm going to call your dumb ass dumb for real.
Right.
And we got to fighting. And in the process of that anger and that alcohol, the anger turned to sadness. Yes. Motherfucker, you remember when we went home and my mama told me she wouldn't let me go to the 8th grade? Call me dumb, motherfucker. Don't let you ever call me dumb. And it hit me.
Yes.
And in all my drunkenness, my compassion came out, and I hugged him. I said, man, I remember that shit.
Man.
And this is a moment we having in front of 5 or 6 guys.
They're probably like, what is this?
Yeah, we having this moment in front of 5 or 6 guys playing Tunk. Wow. But everybody was family or very good friends.
That's good.
So he get to talking about it.
Man.
And as he talked about it, it was a specific teacher named Mr. Wills.
Okay.
7th grade teacher, and everybody knew Mr. Wills was a science teacher. He was a mean, bad motherfucker.
Wow.
And the funny thing about life is when he failed the 7th grade and they didn't let him go, his mom didn't let him go forward. The next year when he passed, he was in the 8th grade, but he was a grade up above everybody. So he dominated in sports.
See?
He dominated in sports because he was a grade up.
Right.
But the point I'm making is that scar in his soul. How many other situations had he walked around with women, job, further on in school, where something came up where he felt dumb?
Yes. Just from the word alone. The energy from the word, Javon, alone. That word, it doesn't even have to be in context with him. Just the word alone is to demolish and diminish someone's intelligence.
It's like it sits in a space in your heart.
Yes.
That's like a putrid witch's pot.
Yes.
You know what I mean? When we see Halloween coming up and we would see those witches sitting around that pot and everybody would be dragon tails and pig snails and da da da, and you throw it in and mix, and then that's how you make a spell.
Yes. Yes.
I look at this soul that we claim that we have, and I'm not saying we don't, but we're gonna talk about that another day a little further.
Right.
This soul that we have, and it's like a situation where there can be a good pot and a bad pot. You get what I'm saying? A good pot and a bad pot. And in our soul pots, this pot over here is just waiting for somebody to stir that motherfucker up. Right. And our soul hurts. And when it starts hurting, a lot of times we don't even think back. Like you said last night, the lady couldn't even know how it feels. You see what I'm saying? In my life, I have negative self-talk when it comes to personal self-discipline.
Really?
It's always been something I dealt with, self-discipline.
You just need an accountability partner. That's all.
In certain areas, certain areas I'm insane in, and then certain
music, because that song you played last night, your music is dynamic. There's no stopping you.
Thank you. There's certain areas that I'm not tight in.
Yeah.
And what my soul keeps telling me is you don't love yourself. Because if you really loved yourself, you would do what you say your soul wants to do. And it keeps crying out to me. My soul, you heard that song? My soul cries out to me.
Yes.
My soul keeps telling me, the deepest, darkest corner of my soul keeps telling me, if you can't do the thing that you know and say you want to do, how can you really say you love yourself? Because when you don't do it, it's the thing that has you having anxiety. It's the thing that depresses us. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you an example, a mundane example. Say if you're writing a book, I said that last night, and you say, I'm gonna write a page a day. Yeah. And if you don't get up in the first thing in the morning and write that page and make yourself feel good and get that on out the way as your day go, is more shit just gonna stop you. And then you start having anxiety. Yeah. And then you start questioning your whole book. Because I didn't write that page today. Mm-hmm. Are you saying that's the thing in us that our soul is calling out to us? I want, because we doing the soul the soul readings and stuff. I just wanted to get that out there so I can have a perfect understanding of what you and what we agreeing our soul is.
What I'm telling you is this: that is your shadow self, because the soul, there's a self. And then there's a shadow self. So you got to remember the confidence. We're going to have to take a soul travel or a soul trip down memory lane to where you had. This is not something new for you. This is a pattern from something. So something that you always wanted to do, you didn't do it. And so your soul will go into default. So default is the shadow self.
Mm-hmm.
It goes into a darkness, which is the space of saying, I'm not worthy because I'm not doing what I should have done because I didn't accomplish that. But instead of saying that to yourself, we have to counteract that in order to counteract being human, because that's what we are. We're human.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to make mistakes. We're going to fall short. We're going to not be perfect every time. We're not going to hit it every time. You're not going to have a song like you did last night every single time. Mm-hmm. There's going to be songs where you're like, damn, that didn't come out right. We got to go back and do this verse again or whatever.
Yeah.
It's going to come a time. But I notice when you're talking about your music, you have a lot of patience with it.
Mm-hmm.
When you're talking about your book, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells me it's something in you that you have a high standard on the book writing, because we keep bringing this book up.
Yeah.
So what I think it is I don't want my book to just be on somebody's desk. I want them reading it and I want to get feedback and I want people to enjoy it. Well, all of that will happen, but first you have to have a lead up in confidence in that area. That's all it is. It's not that you're not an author. You already are. You've been doing all this talking. That's author work. You've been writing. You've been doing Bears and Bubbles. You've been doing a lot of stuff. So you're not giving yourself credit with already your accomplishments. You're just falling short with completing the book, but yet you're not falling short in the music. What's the difference? Only you can answer that. But
okay.
And being hard on self about what you haven't done, say, let me take this energy that I got over here with the music and let me write this book like a song.
Got you. So I said all that, and that was a beautiful, I don't know what we would call that, analysis, or a beautiful, like you just Dr. Phil'd me or Iyanla Vanzant. But I was hoping you would I was hoping you would do that, and I was hoping you would do that live on camera so that our people can have an understanding of what the message is tonight, the souls of Black folks. Yeah. What is it, and what are the events that happen to us that would make us question our soul? What is it? What prompted this discussion was Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, his
assassination. And Black people are celebrating online. And Black people traditionally have had a certain level of class, a certain level of, I don't even know what word to try to use, just a certain level of humanity. But we didn't do that. No. Like our elders didn't do that. We didn't do that. We've gone through Martin Luther King dying, a hero that we love. We've gone through seeing John F. Kennedy dying, a hero that we love. But when I think Kennedy died before Martin Luther King, didn't it? Or was it Martin Luther King then Kennedy? I can't remember.
I think it was Martin first, and then
okay. Yeah. But in the process, what I'm saying is, I don't believe Black people cheered when Kennedy died. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Point I'm making is, what has happened to us in America throughout time where we'll get to the point where not only will we cheer when a white man is shot, we cannot regulate and raise our inner city youth as parents, as clergymen, as teachers, as a community. What is missing from us? And I can only go from the soul reading I had and say it's a lost path that we don't have. Like the living soul. That reading gives you somewhat of a path forward, backwards, and now of why kind of I'm right here. It's not a psychic reading.
No.
Kind of gives you now in the very same way. I wish there was some way we could give Black people race birthday and put it into the living soul. You kind of get what I'm saying?
You said their race birthday?
Well, what I'm saying is the black race's birthday.
Oh,
How
gotcha.
you know how you take an individual's
Right.
birthday and
Yes.
put it in the living soul, and the living soul gives you this readout. I wish you could take the black race.
Mm.
You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and when we were born, when we came to be.
Yeah, exactly. When we came to be, put it in the living soul and get a shootout. Now I know we can't do that, but just to get going, I want you to give me a soul reading. You know what I'm saying? Hypothetically.
Right.
Meaning explain where we are in the context of what I just said. Can't raise our own children, clapping when somebody die, can't get along with each other. Explain, do you get what I'm saying? Kind of via the soul reading, like why you think we like that, but use living soul as, you feel me?
Yeah, because there's a lot of ebbs and flows in the universe right now. We're in a actually we are currently in, matter of fact, I was just looking at our seasons. So we can use the living soul tonight. I didn't know I was going to go here because I was studying it. But I'm studying the season. Actually, this season is in the number 9. And with us being in the number 9, we have a lot going on where there's a lot of misunderstanding in our realm of what we got going on in this time and in this space. Unfortunately, because we have had so many things, especially politically, financially, I mean, we've been really burdened as people. I'm not even saying black people, but just people in general. We have really been bombarded and burdened with a lot of things that's shifting us into this realm of misunderstanding. And unfortunately, we are in this season of the 9. So give me a second. Let me pull that up. I didn't know we were going to go here tonight, but we're going to go here tonight. I guess we're just going to go on and do this. So let me pull this up. Give me just a second, because I want to give you accurate information. I don't want to just bypass this, because that is an excellent question. A lot of times we forget how powerful the numbers really line up and give us some data. See, the truth of the matter is, it's not always easy to just look at something and say, oh yeah, it's this, it's this, it's this. It's like, no, let's really look at the fall season, shall we? So right now we are in season 9. Okay. So here's what's deep. There's a heightened inner tension. All right. Are you following?
Yeah, heightened inner tension.
Yes, meaning our inward push and pull is off in our gravity. So we're having a hard time. Therefore, the social world, we are pushed away, which is civility, being kind and cordial and caring. Right now, love, decency, humanitarian is actually, because of where we are in this time and space, we are pushing away from each other. Just because we're in the 9 this year. I'm sorry, this season, which is in fall. Okay, so are you paying? So you got that so far?
I got it, because I already know how I want to respond. It lines up with where we're at. That's why I said, is there a way you can live in soul our race? You know what I'm saying? Just for kicks and giggles, but move forward. Go ahead, finish.
Also pay attention to this. There is a heightened inner tension in us individually, which means that our inward push and pull is off as well. So we have the universe having the push and pull and the energy's off, and so are we individually. Because in this season of 9, the push and pull is off. The social world, we are just pushing away from decency. We're like magnets. So the 9 also signifies death. This season, Javon, is the time where we are starting to, if you notice, we're starting to die off certain thinking. Look at how relationships are changing. Look at how racial information is going. I mean, we're really back and forth. We're going into this divide, and 9 transitions into like a 9 plus 9. So understand, we're a double 9 right now in the living soul. So all month is heightened in extremes. So unfortunately, with his death and his assassination, I want to mention this because this is very important. Unfortunately, because of his assassination, he had a completion in his life term. I don't look down on death as if death is wrong, because death is eventually going to be. However, the way he died, unfortunately, is understandably, undeniably unacceptable.
Yeah.
Any way we look at it, assassinations is not okay. However, death is a rebirth. So in the celebration, don't celebrate the man because of his opinion and his stances and who he was and what he stood on, but understand he did complete what he was supposed to complete, even though he left the planet in a very unearthed way.
Yeah. So I wanted you to break that down so as people watching, we can understand the living soul, because as we move forward, we're going to be talking about it a lot. And
Yes.
putting it in the context of this situation. And
Right.
it lines exactly. I just wanted to see what you thought about it. And because the thing about it like this,
Yes.
that inner tension that you're talking about,
Yes.
Black people are transitioning, like for real. Black people are right on the cusp of saying, it's time to get off the Democratic train and hop on the Republican train.
And what did I say earlier?
That's the point I'm making.
Yes.
There's something going on in us as a race.
Yes.
That's realizing we have to do something different. And anytime you get to the point where you realize you have to do something different, you get edgy. It's like starting a new job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You could be tired of the job you have and you own it and it make decent money, but you get to the point where you're like, I want a new job. You start looking, you find something, you get excited, you get a call back, you get dressed up, put on your cologne, perfume, and you go to this new job interview and you sit there and you sell yourself. You sell the hell out of yourself. And then when they tell you you hired, you get nervous.
Right.
You start thinking about what's happening new that you don't know what's going to happen.
Yes.
You start thinking about how I know what's good on this job. I'm settled in and da. Now I got a new job. And then you start doubting and you say to yourself, I remember when I wanted the job I got now so bad and was praying for it. And now I got it. And now I'm moving on.
Yes.
I think that's where we're at. And that tension that's building up on the inside of us is basically a situation like I was saying with that guy and the word dumb.
Yes.
Black people want some victories. We want to feel like, hey, listen, we won. I don't think we have the same soul that they have. I'm gonna keep using this word because it's the only word I know to use.
Mm-hmm.
The same soul they have, right? So
Right.
say, for example, when Black people were oppressed and down, we held hands and marched and said, we shall overcome.
Right.
No justice, no peace.
Right.
When Europeans are oppressed, they kill everything in their way. You see what I'm saying? When the white man was oppressed by his mother nation, England, he said, fuck you, we ain't sending you shit. And when they came over here, they slaughtered them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in this situation, what I'm trying to say is to Black people is this. I think we've been through so much, and the trauma of being Black and in America is no different than that young man who was called dumb. And I think we go through situations like Trayvon Martin, Sonia Bland,
Yeah.
Mike Brown, George Floyd.
We'll be here all night.
Yeah, and they all are deposited into this witch's brew pot in this part of our soul. You see what I'm saying? And it's like we have a situation now where it's like white man got shot. We don't know a lot about him. We just know he got some racial sound bites. White man got shot, racial sound bites. We like, he fucking deserved it. We got a victory. We won something. It's like when OJ got off. Black people were excited. And white people were crying. So I think we at a state in our life where Black people don't know how to voice how our soul is really feeling. So
No.
when you don't know how to voice how your soul feeling, it's like you said last night, you get so frozen, you get so cold. And I think that's where we're at. I think Black people need to just say and admit in our heart, but keep it to ourselves. Hey, I don't know a lot about that guy, but I know I seen him say some racist shit and he got shot. Yeah, I'm a little feeling like we got a symbolic victory, but I know deep down that ain't how I need to be.
No. Well, and I want to also remind you that in the living soul there are elements. So we have currently elements that we also have to pay attention to during this season. And currently, the metal, the fire, the earth, wood, the air, and the water are all elemental truths that's going on inside of the actual universe right now. So right now, fire is high, which means it's equaling change. Okay? Metal equals clarity and cancellation. So currently there's a moral shift going on in the earth effect. So now understand this. Remember I said there's earth, wood, there's air, there's right now no air is going to be in the elemental force of our universe right now. So we are all suffocating. Right now is the time for you and I that are doing teaching that is really here to give inspiration, to help to teach, is the time, because elementally there is no air going on in this season of the fall. So people are really dry. I'm talking about dehydrated.
And let me throw this in while you're saying that. White people, they are feeling the same way. All the races are feeling the same way. It's like you can tell the building of bubbling of something, and everybody is kind of sitting back like, what's going to happen? Not wanting something bad to happen, but wanting something to happen just so we can see what happened. It's like, you ever notice if you got a bump on your arm or a blister, and it's like you don't want to bust that blister, but it's kind of like as it get bigger, you be like curious about how it's gonna bust, and then some say, I would just let it bust on its own.
Yes.
And sometimes you take a pin and you strategically bust it and it ooze out, and you put a band-aid on it and it's cool. Yeah. But then sometimes you say, I don't want to bust it, and you just living life, and you walk around and you hit that bitch on the damn on the door or something, and that bitch busts.
Yes.
And you feel it. Yeah. And it's so painful. And then there's a third time where you're doing something and your adrenaline is going and blah, 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 blah. And you look down and you just see the redness and the scab forming. You say, damn, that damn blister and bust, I ain't even noticed it. So what I'm saying is there are phases of things happening.
There are.
And I think we're in that phase where we don't know how this blister is going to bust, but it's finna bust. And that anger and that and even like you said in white people, this no air, everybody's suffocating. Yeah. It's like a situation where I made a video today. I was saying to white people like, hey, not since John F. Kennedy have y'all experienced this. And when John F. Kennedy died, there were Democratic whites experiencing this history. The Republican white man in this age, Abraham Lincoln was killed. He was a Republican. There was four more Republicans presidents assassinated. Right. But the point I'm making, since John F. Kennedy in this new age, white folks ain't been this hurt. Yeah. And black folks been hurt. So I want to say to black people,
continuum,
no differently than that kid being called dumb or those things that we have on the inside. Black people have constantly felt this.
Yes.
And we have a damn, and we ain't bucked up and did nothing about it. So we festering. Right. And for white men, conservatives, they ain't felt this. Well, and they festering. And I'm saying it's a situation where if we go with our true soul, we need to just chill out. We don't need to laugh. We don't need to weigh in on this. Because who is the conservative white Republican really mad at? He's mad at the conservative white Democrat. I mean, the liberal white Democrat.
Right.
That's their thing. We didn't shoot that man. No. You see what I'm saying? That's their thing. But it's still affecting our soul. And I always associate soul with the thing that tells us what? Are we being virtuous? Good or bad? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What are we going to do?
Right. Yes. And so I want to say also, I don't want to forget this part. No air really in the universe going on right now when there's absolutely no air. Be aware that there's a lot of non-logical thinking going on. So there's no logic really.
Yeah.
So again, with when you're suffocating, when you're not able to think logically, we are able to be pulled and drugged down into this emotional turmoil and be okay in it without properly thinking. This is not right for us to be celebrating this. Why would we be okay with this? Why would we say it's all right to celebrate someone being assassinated? Because there's no logical thinking. And right now, in to be honest with you, because of the impulsive action of killing him, and then there's an impulsive action of us celebrating, it equates why with this fire is on explosion. It's from passion, it's from anxiety, it's from the increase of that lack of air at this time in this space in this season.
It's almost like it's so many old sayings that old folks used to say: misery love company, hurt people.
Yes.
So we may not necessarily go out and hurt them in that way, but we're happy that they're hurt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like
somebody
did it for us, and that's a scar that's so deep within us that it's almost like W.E.B. Du Bois wrote a book called The Souls of Black Folks. And white people received it because it was a real book, and some black people say he was cooning, but he was basically saying that no matter what you do to us, our soul is so pure, we're always going to maintain our integrity and our morals. Think about this. There was a time, now don't get me wrong, there was some uprisings and stuff, but there were a time when I wish I was alive during that Color Purple movie time. You know the movie Color Purple?
Yes, I know it. Definitely.
Now just go back to how they dressed. You know what I'm saying? Black people, no matter what we was going through, we was looking motherfucking good. And we had a level of pride and class about us. I remember growing up, and I used to see my grandma get dressed from bottom to top. And not naked, but my grandma would be like, boy, come zip my slip up or zip my dress in the back. You see what I'm saying? So seeing my grandma come through the kitchen out of the bedroom, she would have on her panties, then she would have on her stockings. Stockings pulled up almost to
all the way up here. Yes.
Yeah, I'm painting a picture. Have a stockings pulled up all the way up to her breast, big old thick, hard, heavy bra. Then she dropped that slip on. Baby, zip my slip up. Then she put on her dress.
Yes.
Now, grandma wore stockings because, it's a side note, hair has always been attracted to men. So old women didn't shave their legs. They wore stockings that was the color of their skin so you wouldn't see their hairy legs. So she have on these stockings. Then she put on this dress. Then my grandma have on a hat, a shawl, a jacket on with some gloves.
Yes,
and then might have a little hat with the little thing. Man, just the way they cared about looking in the midst of all that pain and suffering and hard living they was doing.
It was pride.
Yeah. And think about this, what you say about the soul and the scars and that shadow self.
Yes.
They were coming out of slavery. So no matter how bad we thought it was for them, that group of people was stepping high like, shit, we coming out of motherfucking slavery. We ain't slaves no more. You know what I'm saying?
There was a pride, yes.
Yeah, and then I look at us now and it's like, with all these college educations and everything we got going on, the pride that we used to have, it's almost like it goes as far as to say, my granddaddy said, even Trav was saying the other night, the more educated we get, the more evil we get. Cold. And I always say the freer we get, the more crazier we get. And I liken it to the LBGT. I liken it to time in history, because I like to talk about history, because
Right.
the white man, when he built this country or took this country and forced people to build it for him,
Mhm.
he didn't even let his own wife and mama vote and have a say so. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He was like, hell no, y'all don't got no say so, y'all women. And then you have your women's suffrage movement. And then 1920, he let his woman vote. Once the white man let his woman vote, he gave her some freedom, right? He took his finger off her neck. Guess what she did? Started feminism and started going against him, right? Repeat this. Let's talk for a second.
Okay. I see you over here cooking.
When black people got our rights and he gave us our right to vote, and what did we do? We started wilding, didn't we? Black people, when we got the voting right and civil rights, that's when our behavior started declining. That's when niggas start being created. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
In the very same way,
Right.
once gay people got the right to marriage, didn't they go crazy with it? Gay people went from lesbian and gay to bring in the bi, bring in the L's, the T's, the G's. Now we got 10 genders. We got the D's and days. No, I'm being real.
I know.
The more freedom a group of people get, the wilder they get. And the reason it's like that, because the people that created the ecosystem to live within had what am I calling? Some general statutes, the way this shit worked right. You see what I'm saying? Right. So when we remove ourselves from that, as black people, we're gonna be where we are now, where we got to question, yo, do you need to bring the military in for our inner city youth?
Well, we need to get back to discipline. We need to get the black fathers back in the home. We need to build back up the family dynamic, because what I understand, because remember, I told you my parents were born in the 30s. So yes, I'm 52. However, I was raised by.
You know that I'm 52. I'm playing with you.
I was raised by my parents that were in their. I mean, my dad was born in 35 and my mom in 39. So again, you're talking about having older parents, and I never really thought about it until years ago when people were like, "Girl, your parents was older. They were old enough to be your grandparents." You know, they would make fun.
Yeah.
They were older parents. And I remember till this day, Javon, my dad and mother were in alignment. And they would tell me, when you go out this door, you not only represent me, your mother, but your father. Now, what's so deep about that, if we want to talk about words and vibration, it was one thing for me to represent mom, but it was a whole nother level when you're talking about representing my father. So now, vibrationally is what I'm talking about. When I'm going out this door, I have to now not only represent him, my mom, but my dad as well. So that always carried in my spirit, my soul, my heart, and mind. I'm saying that to say we need to get the black fathers back in the home. We need to get back to unification again. We need to get back to discipline, because those help us to get into the discipline and hitting the boundaries. And it's okay for, if I don't have, and then this is for the single mothers, if I'm going to go here, because I am. Black mothers, if you don't have black fathers, or the black father is not there, get you a surrogate godfathering uncle, a mentor, a black man to father your child. It's not excusable for me to say, oh, I'm a single mom and my ex-husband isn't really involved with my son. No, I got a hold to Doc Stigler and said, hey, I need you to teach my son how to meditate. That's what I need for you to do. So I have different men in my life that I would have import. Tell my son, hey, look, your dad might not be here, but listen to me. You got a man to answer to. If you got some questions the mom can't answer, you got a man to answer to. And I did that because after my father's passing in 2022, I didn't have him to just go and, hey, Pop, I need you to get a hold of Braylon. He acting a fool in here. You know what I'm saying? So I think we can get back to old school thinking, because I couldn't just act an ass. I had uncles. When my father died, my uncle came from here came here in Ohio from New York. He left his home and came and checked on me, stayed with me for 2 weeks to just kind of make sure I was okay, making sure the kids were good. That's how family is ran. We need to get back to the code of conduct. We need to get back to having surrogate men. We need to be okay with somebody chastising my son. If Braylon gets out of hand outside of this door, and there's another black male that sees Braylon getting out of hand, I don't mind him chastising him.
You are saying something that's so key. Now, I want to piggyback off that of giving an example of what I'm saying in the times when we in and how much we've been hurt and scarred and what we've been through. Our generation act like we went through more than our ancestors went through. We got all the rights and privileges that they actually worked and deserved.
Right.
We're squandering them. Now, say, for example, fatherhood, right? Back in the day, imagine a father having to tell his son when they go outside, all right, son, these are the rules of engagement, right? These are the rules of engagement.
Yes.
Trav.
What's going on, family? How you doing?
He popped in like my man popped up out of the trash can. You know what I'm saying? You came in at a perfect spot, man. I'm glad you could join us, man.
So glad you're here.
How you doing, Miss Carla?
Nah.
Yeah, nice to meet you virtually.
Right.
Yes.
Now, the rules of engagement, and Trav, you kicked it with me too on this because you have a father, you know, and you grew up with him, and you grew up with your grandfather. The rules of engagement in the Jim Crow era, no matter what a black man could show his son and teach his son, he had to teach his son that he was under that white man. You know what I'm saying? So I can imagine how that could burn you at your soul. I'll never forget, there was a movie I watched. I believe it might have been Danny Glover. And the little boy ran and drank out of the white water fountain. And the daddy was like, oh, come in. And when he got him, the white man said, ho, boy. That boy drank out the wrong water fountain. And so he told him, whoop that boy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And you know, the father was like, sir, that's my boy. I whoop him when he get home. He said, no, you whoop him now. I'm going to whoop him. And the father beat the little boy. And I can't remember if, I know the father didn't die because I remember the little boy confront him like, you beat my ass in front of that white man that day. You know what I'm saying? Now, we as fathers, and you being a mother with a daughter and a son, we had to tell our kids, don't drink out of that water fountain. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. Things that were the rules of engagement for the time.
Right.
And there are still rules of engagement for this time. No matter how much we think we free and this, that, and the other, there are still rule engagements of this time.
Yeah.
So I would have told my son back in the day, listen, these are the rules of engagements. Don't go to that water fountain. And if every same way today, I would tell black people, listen, these are the rules of engagement. Conservative white Republicans are beefing with conservative white, liberal white Democrats. We ain't got nothing to do with that. This is the rules of engagement. Definitely don't go on the internet celebrating. Don't make no videos, blah, 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 blah. Because we don't want them to turn that vitriol on us.
Right.
Y'all weigh in on this. Am I crazy? Because people keep telling me I'm afraid, I'm weak, times have changed, But I keep saying we don't have the evil nature that they have to get up and say, well, let's go lynch a white town. You see what I'm saying? Y'all weigh in on that.
Answer first.
Well, I asked my daddy and my granddaddy these questions personally because I wanted to understand through three generations in time. And my granddaddy, who was born in 1929, told me, I said, well, granddad, what did your mama and daddy tell you about white people? Mm-hmm. They told me to do what they say. They told me, do what they say and they the boss. I say, what? But when he was telling me this was right before he died. He was in his 80s. Mm. But now he got a new state of mind. I don't give a damn about now one of them. He talking out his chest. So he had a son in 1955 that grew up in Jim Crow that got exposed to white people when they desegregated the school system, which is my daddy, who was prideful, who had that 70s black pride. But one thing about the what you say, the engagement, we all know it is just being humble. That's why we tell each other now, be humble. The most dangerous, fearful situation for a black man is to be confident in the presence of someone who will feel insecure about themselves with power. It's the most dangerous situation that my daddy and his daddy could be in. So they simply told us to be humble. Boy, don't you ever be nowhere letting it be known you the one. Because that'll make people feel insecure. And when people feel insecure, they say everybody see the glow, but everybody can't handle the glare. And they'll put that thing out, and you might not make it back. So still to this day, I hate the word being humble.
I hate it too.
Because it's two different times.
I hate that word. But
I hate it because there's no point, there's no moment, there's nowhere that I'm now here that I feel I'm least important than anything.
What's your motto, Crab? You always say it. What's your favorite motto? Because I've been piggybacking off of some of what you say. I'm like, he says ain't nobody above the bullshit. That's my favorite one.
Yeah, you gotta know it. You better know it. But
it's another one you always say that I love hearing you talk about. Like, what are you?
You say, It's
my other favorite that you always say, who are you? Or you always ask, how important are you? Or something like that to that effect. And then you say, if you're not important, then you shouldn't be here. And it just, I love it. But I hate the word humble.
Yeah. And I hate it too, but I get it in that time. Yeah. It depended on making it home. You know what I mean? Yeah. But we're in a different time. And like you say, that's what's crazy now on social media, and ideas outside of real life. Man, we perpetuating so much victim mentality that we think the big bad wolf is thriving. So we talk tough on social media, but these same people who's perpetuating this false sense of black pride change their tone. And I just want to say this at work, because right now I'm feeling that you see what I'm saying? Because that's, man, God,
when they order their food at McDonald's, excuse me, is your icy machine, smoothie machine broken down? When you call the bill collector.
So the what's the word you say about engagement?
The rules of engagement.
The rules of engagement is always to lower yourself to not create insecurities around. And I don't know if that's good or bad or right or wrong, but I think that's the soul of us that does that for survival.
Wow.
And I'll say this, because I think that's powerful what you said. We were talking earlier, Trav, before you joined on, about our self-conversations and how we kind of downplay or we're negative to ourselves, or we have self-hatred conversations with self. And in that dialogue, we have a tendency to get so negative that we lose sight the value of who we are. And really, I want to go to this word, which is soul erasure, where we erase self to make sure that we're acceptable or accepting, which is why I don't like the word that we mentioned earlier. I don't like humble or be humble. No, I'm not going to water myself down. I'm not going to erase myself to make you all comfortable in who I am as a Black woman. I'm just not going to do that. Now, what I will say is I will go out and speak out against nonsense. To celebrate a man's death, I don't like it. I think it's unacceptable and we need to stop. As a coach, I will say that. Now, what I will also say is I understand why you're doing it, but right now we are in our earth. We are in our current state in this season right now. Mm-hmm. In the living soul, we are in the number 9. September is the number 9. It's a double 9 this month, which signifies death, believe it or not. But death also signifies rebirth.
Yeah.
So we're going to go into the metal and the fire. So check this out. The fire equals change.
Yeah.
Metal equals clarity and cancellation.
Yeah.
So check this out. I was saying earlier that there's a moral shift in our actual souls and in the season, in the atmosphere, by the numbers in the living soul. It is showing that we are going through a moral shift. Check this out. Picture fire applied to metal. That creates what? A sword, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't fire create the sword?
Come on.
So warlike tendency is more invited this month. So now anytime more than 1, 9 doubles, triples, or quadruples and heightens our tension and our rivalry.
Oh,
it's almost like it's fight time. What I did, Trav, just a quick explanation. The living soul is something I'm sure you didn't seen about it. I asked her
I'm familiar with it.
A process the black race in the state we are in right now. So that's where we at. It's funny that y'all was talking about the word humble because it comes from the word humiliate. I
don't like it.
yeah. That's where humble comes from.
We're just
and I say this: the most dangerous man on planet Earth is a humiliated man.
Yeah, it's crazy because I want to pose something to y'all, and this and I hate that I know this, and I'm realizing this now. God damn, I hate that I hate this, but I have to be honest.
Okay.
That thing that y'all talking about, humble.
Yes.
The Bible preaches that as a form of love. Ain't that what we do for our children, our wives, people? You know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes we know we have to damn ourselves down or not to even make it into certain places. So what I'm saying is, it just hit me like to humble ourselves like they had to do in front of that white man back in the day, and how we need to do some now. Is that not a form of loving him, showing him love, loving ourselves and loving our family, because it's what keeps us alive? Like that's what the Bible is trying to say. It's like, what I mean, it's like, God damn, I ain't like how this shit felt.
I think that might be a survival tactic, but it doesn't equate love. Survival and love are two different things. If I'm telling my child to water themselves down in the moment of being possibly executed because you're going to get killed if you do this, that is a form of protection. I'm protecting my child to continue on being on the planet. However, when we're telling our child to be a little more subdued or don't go out here and fight and cuss out a cop, we're telling them means of survival, and that's not saying I'm teaching my son to be less than. I'm telling him how to survive.
Yeah.
And in the survival piece, Javon, we got to remember that sometimes even white people that are disobedient get killed by cops also. So it's of protection. You got to teach your kids right from wrong, and you have to also allow them to understand. This doesn't mean that you're less than as a human being, but this is a part of survival so you can remain here on the planet.
Go ahead, Trav, because I want to rebuttal that. I got a question. Not even a rebuttal.
I'm going to tie it all the way back to her 9 season, even this being in the fire season. Like we said, we're in a cycle. And even when you really look at the point of it all, whether it's the Bible, whether it's no matter what, if it's truth, it's universal. And this ain't white, black, this is how it worked. So when you think about us being in the 9 season, like you say, the season of fire, this is the crucifixion. This is him walking the green mile. We watching everything fall. We watching the trees get bare. You don't see people selling firewood until the death season or the fall, because now you see which trees need to be cut. And when the sun is furthest away, we create fire in metal to stay warm and survive. So I'm saying this right here to say, Javon, in the same way, This is the crucifying season. You got ego, you got versus consciousness, you got humility, meaning I will lower myself. You see what I'm saying? I'll put myself on the cross, let my ego die so my people can live. Meaning at work in this season, while I'm frustrated, man, my ego get to roaring when I feel disrespect, but I show humility for who matter to goddamn nail myself down and let y'all think what y'all want to think just so I can survive to make it home. So it's all the same thing, but the fire becomes the soul. The reason, the consciousness. And it's really about knowing when to hold them, knowing when to fold them, and seeing the big picture.
Know when to walk away, know when to run.
Come on.
That, and see, I understand that. But the question that I have, we humble ourselves outside of situations where it's for survival in our job and our sustenance. When we do it then, is it for love, or when do we do it? Or when we do it then, should we not do it?
Well, it's out of respect. It's out of respect. If I come to your house and you got something going on and I see you struggling, well, I got to make a conscious decision out of respect, love, dignity to either say, hey, Javon, do it like this, or give you something to say, bro, let me help you. But even though I know I could be thinking, just real, man, this motherfucker, crazy, man. Hey, look,
fix that shit in 2 minutes.
Yeah, hey, look, but I'm not gonna let my sun rise.
Right.
Yeah.
Overshine you in your foundation in front of your woman, and that's love. That's respect. You see what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
so one thing is a thing, but it's always different perspectives to that thing. Like she talked about the 9. This the 9 month. My wife was born in the 9 month. My birthday is 7 and 2. So I'm just showing how, we connected to the 9. But I always say, yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I got it. I just wanted to ask that because I know the times that I felt humble, I was mad, and then there are times that I have said, "Man, let me goddamn." And I know when I did it for this reason, it was out of love. So even when I'm doing it out of survival, I still feel like I'm doing it out of love, because at the end of the day, if I don't humble myself, I'm gonna kill him. And I'm like they say, that's why it hit me. I was thinking it hit me so hard because I'm like, damn, these motherfuckers then convinced us this is a form of love. And the harder I think about it, it kind of is in my heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, but what y'all just explained to me kind of made me kind of say, well, but then when I go back to it, anytime I've humbled myself, it was some love involved. And they say we're supposed to love our enemy, but I ain't getting into all that. But this motherfucker, go ahead.
Self-sabotage.
Yeah,
you talked about this. That's a choice you make in that moment. I could be humble. I could lessen myself for the greater good. But if that greater good ain't in line with what's in my soul, then I let my light shine. And I know it's going to make some people feel uncomfortable, insecure. So it's like, I know I'm sabotaging my opportunity, but what was it about sacrificing, making that worth it or not? So that's why I call it sabotaging. I ain't going to be humble, because that is an offer of grace, of love. Like you say, I'm going to die so my people can live. But at the same time, that voice that says no, that could be conveyed as the devil. That could be conveyed as what keeps you grounded. But that is you, and that is necessary. And he just like a dog on the chain that want to break off. If you don't let them run, when it's time to run, because there is a time to establish respect when you ain't going to be humble. Right. Nah, I run this shit. I'm the one. Hey, this is my movie. Because if your movie is about something powerful in the moment that ain't nobody around you movie is, then you got to be the main character. So when it's time for him to go or her to go, you allow that. But if you don't never allow that, man, you know what a beast do when they break off the chain or out the cage.
Motherfucker go crazy.
Go crazy as hell.
And I'm thinking also, I feel like what's very vital too is one thing that we can't forget is we have to articulate. When you mentioned love, I want you to really, really evaluate, is that loving or is that protecting? Because those are two different things. Because in your love, we have bombarded the male species, the man, especially the black man, that he is supposed to protect no matter what it takes, even to the point where I have heard over and over and over again from the black man that he will die for his family. I have heard it on and on and on and on. So what I want us to think about is rather than die for your family, live for your family. And so what I also want to say is your protectiveness isn't necessarily love. Sometimes you got to protect and beat the shit out of someone. Sometimes you got to murder someone. I just saw a father that was eye to eye with a young boy. Like, listen, hey, we can talk about this or it can go way left. But if you let me help you, put your gun down. And it was powerful. Now, I don't know if it was a skit or not, but whatever it was, it showed that the black man protected. Did he love? No, but he had concern for his home. And if that young man wouldn't have put that gun down, he was at the risk of dying.
I want to ask you something about that real quick.
Let's not confuse love and protection.
I want to ask you something about that real quick because I saw that, right?
Yes.
And I saw that as love. Trav, I don't know if you saw it. This is where our producer, when we blow this shit, our producer pop that shit up real quick. Yeah. Trav, let me set it up quick for you in 10 seconds. Man looking on his Ring camera, walk out his house. He got the sawed-off pump shotgun. The little boy got a pistol in his hand. He walk out. Hold on, young man. The boy could have shot him instantly. He said, hold on, young man. Don't do this. And the boy got his gun on him. And he said, hey, I done been there. I done been where you at. Don't do this. We ain't got to go like this. I'm so scared that boy could just, you see what I'm saying? There's a certain level of love right there to me. I just know I couldn't have did it.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? When that boy, it's like he holding, and he talked the little boy down, and he said, look, now I can give you a job. I can help you, but we ain't got to do it like that. Put the gun, and the boy gave him the gun, and he took him in the house. And this was a real scenario.
Yeah. I remember that video. But
and before you don't want to interrupt your thought, I want you to hold it. But I do want to also say he didn't know his race. He had a mask over his face. So it was just a kid at this point. So that's another power of that controversy is that he didn't know what race of kid this is. He just saw this as a child.
Yeah.
I saw that. And I would say this, the key thing he told that young man, I've been there. So if he's been there, then he's been in situations to look in the eyes and feel the vibe, to know when somebody for real. And
boy, you be breaking shit down. That's real right there.
You know what I mean? So like you say, everybody real till shit get real. Look, I know one thing, I ain't finna be no victim. You feel what I'm saying?
If you say you just seen that look in his eye.
I know that. I don't want to kill nobody. But ultimately, I'm going to protect my wife and my children, and I ain't finna be no victim. And I give you an example, real talk. One time, my wife saw somebody in one of my outhouses. And she said, baby, you outside? I say, no. And she said, it's somebody out in one of your houses. And I was at Bojangles about a mile away. Look, no, this is for real. And I skeeted off. I forgot. I said, oh shit. Because if someone brave enough to to be on my property while I'm not there, and she said, I'm on the phone. She said, well, baby, don't pull in the driveway. And like I say, I'm a kind of, my size is my size. I stopped before I hit my property, jumped the fence. It was like a movie, and she threw me the gun, and I boom, 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 boom. and I'm tripping like, oh my God, what was that? You see what I'm saying, man? So everybody real till shit get real, and you don't know who you is. Goddamn, hey, look, but I want to say in my conscious spirit, I ain't gonna kill nothing.
I ain't gonna let nothing die. You know, I know you. Man, it's a wonderful. I just want to say this in the middle of this, man. You know, talking to people that you admire, respect, and really genuinely love. I never met neither one of y'all, but I'm having some perspectives. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you sit down with minds that are sharp, or I like to say minds that have deprogrammed themselves. That's pretty much what I like. That's what I like to say. These are deprogrammed minds having these conversations, us three. And man, y'all are hitting some shit that is hitting me in a level to where I know it's hitting other people. You know, y'all perspective. I just want to throw that out there because I call myself the master teacher. I be thinking I'm the sharpest motherfucker on the earth. Can't nobody kick it with me in my dojo. But I got some heavy hitters on here that I feel like really, really, really got something to say to the world, and that I'm opening my platform up to, where they're going to be coming on my X. They're going to be doing some content on my platform, because I think of all us hitting a crowd, we going to do something. Yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. But y'all move forward. Trav, you had said something today about since we're talking about souls, you had said something today about your father asked you which murder was worse. Break that down for me.
Yeah, he was talking about, you know, we here in Charlotte, so Charlotte on the national news about the young lady that got stabbed on the train, and then you got what's happening with the assassination. So I guess he was having a conversation with some white men, and I guess, you know, when it comes political and racial, we get away from the universal truth of it, and not everybody looking at things subjectively and not objectively. So he was asking them, well, which one is worse? And I didn't know which way it was going, but I knew it was on some cultivated, herd-minded thinking shit. So I say both of the motherfuckers monsters. And this is how I'm talking to my daddy, because this is how we can talk as men in these spaces. I say both of them motherfucking monsters. I said, what difference do it mean worse or worse? Two innocent people lost their lives for nothing and no reason other than an evil person's actions. So I don't know which one is worse. Why worse or more got to be involved in it anyway, Daddy? So it was just kind of to break the herd-minded perspective that we're taught and trained to have when they drop it to us like hungry hounds. You know what I mean, man? Yeah.
But Trav, let me say this real quick. You do know that what your father said is how the masses look at stuff. And like I said, I feel like that's just us deciding which life we think is better based on our personal biases. But you do know that's a universal question that people have. And for you to have that response, that's how I felt about it. But Carla, weigh in on that, how you feel about that.
Well, I'm not aware of the lady stabbing. So if you guys want to fill me in on what happened with that. And who was it that died?
See, like, I need to know what happened so I can judge it.
No, she was
you know,
I answer, but I want to know.
And this is what make both of them. There's a video of the stabbing, and there's a video, obviously, of the assassination.
Okay.
And the girl got stabbed on the train, I think, a month ago. Okay. It's been on the news here locally, but the other day, someone asked Donald Trump in a press conference, what do you think about the train stabbing in Charlotte? Okay. And he didn't know anything about it. So he said, I'll know everything about it in the morning. So when the morning came and he gave his response to it, then it became political and racial.
Yeah.
What was his response to it?
So
I'm understanding this woman.
Somewhat to the fact that these animals need to be took off the street. Somewhat to that manner. or that nature. You know what I mean? And
So, and this is a black woman that was stabbed.
no, it was a white woman that was stabbed.
Okay.
And what happened was, it's the video footage. She get on the train on her phone, just scrolling, and it's a guy behind her, and he's talking to himself or going through some type of mental breakdown, and he just went in his pocket, stood up, and started stabbing her in her neck. You know what I mean? And they showing the video on the news. There was no way to stop it, no way to prevent it. So we got all black local political leadership here: the mayor, the police chief, the sheriff, the school superintendent, the fire chief, the district attorney, the magistrate. So everyone is black following the riot we had in 2016. So since then, everybody is black. And so when this hit national news, they're pointing fingers to say, the mayor say, well, I don't know why they got out the way they did. So now we got a black magistrate and a black district attorney who on the chopping block, and they paying it through the political aspect, the Democrats. Why did they let this clinically diagnosed mental health patient back in society time after time with a no cash bond to make him a danger and threat to society? Exactly. And right now, all the black leadership.
Carla, I want to say something just to interject real quick, and then you respond.
Okay.
Notice how society is, and we talk about soul in this time we in, the season of the 9, and blacks and whites. There was a time when somebody died, they covered them up in the streets. We watching assassination every day. We watching. You see where we at? They couldn't make this shit look like this in the movies. You see what I'm saying? Notice where we at with society. But go ahead, weigh it in on that, Carla.
So my first of all, condolences for her brutal death. I don't like assassinations. I don't like either one of them, and I think I am right along with Trav on saying her value of life is just as important as his value of life. He may have had more celebrity, more people may have known him, but she is just as valuable on the planet. That's why she was here. But let me also piggyback on something that we're not talking about. I always say that no matter how we leave the planet, we can have a very peaceful death where we go in just our peace, or sometimes we can be in a brutal accident. We can be assassinated, and the brutality of death can be awful, but then there's also peaceful ways to which we can depart from this earth. So I want to explain that, yes, both of those departures were awful. I also want to acknowledge that when we leave, it is in alignment with our completion on the planet. They were done.
That's so true. It's you,
and I don't want to say it to where I'm saying.
No, it is what it is. It just is what it is.
That's just the reality.
Yeah, that's the reality. I wanted to say something as we look at words, right? Okay. The difference between shot, murdered, killed, and assassinated. Mm-hmm. Now, popularity don't mean they gonna say you got assassinated. You know what I'm saying? You can be a popular, famous motherfucker, and they say such and such was killed, murdered. Only certain people they say were assassinated. Y'all weigh in on that. I got my opinion.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted y'all to weigh in on that. I got my opinion, but I just want to know what y'all think. What's the difference in being murdered, killed, or assassinated? Because, like I said, famous people get killed all the time, but the word assassination is not used. What do y'all feel about why is that word used in what situation?
The vibration of it. So when you hear because I always, when we're talking words, for me, words have a vibration. So when we hear it, it comes to the spirit and into the soul to a certain rhythm. So assassination is a lot longer if you think about it. The elongated vibration that comes on. I did music too. I'm not no dynamic musician, but I did music too. And the chords, the vibration is elongated from the word assassination. That is to make sure not only when you say assassinated, you see how long that takes for me to say it. When I say someone was murdered, that means that's a common man, killed a common man. However, if we say Martin Luther King was assassinated, what do we hear? The elongated vibration of how powerful this person was in their realm of why they were here on the planet. The vibration is big because they covered a lot while they were here on the planet. So I'm not saying that they're less or more. I'm just saying the common man is murdered, whereas the celebrities or the people well known are assassinated. Because of, if we pay attention to the vibration, we understand it's elongated and it carries a longer weight and a lot more heavier too.
Yeah.
Can't hear you, Javon.
Trav, what you think about? I'm gonna tell y'all exactly why the government say this or why this word is what it is.
And it's crazy.
I like her answer. You go ahead, Trav.
Yeah, I heard the word assassination probably a couple hours ago for the first time associated with it, and I didn't think of it in that way till I heard that word. Like you say, words have connotations, and it made me think.
Yeah.
But not even to get deep, the root word of assassination is an assassin. I mean, you hire someone with an objective for a greater cause, and he got hit by a professional killer. You know what I mean? So I think that's different than a murderer. Most murderers happen out of emotional experiences with someone. Death is due through some type of malfunction, but an assassin is when someone is paid who have a skill to kill, and they did.
Now, I like both of y'all answers, and both of them, it ain't no wrong answer, but I'm gonna tell you why officially if you look the word up. You can assassinate someone's character. And what is that doing?
Killing.
You're killing their voice. If someone is assassinated, they had a powerful political voice that could change the scope of the way the people see things. So that's what the government looks at it. So say, for example, Tupac was he killed or was he assassinated? You see what I'm saying? Now, Trav said you have to have a paid assassin. He don't have to be that motherfucking professional long as he paid. You see what I'm saying?
Or killing for any other reason subjective. He killing objectively. And if someone has a powerful enough voice, then objectively they become a problem. This ain't got nothing to do with what nobody feel. This is what got to be done.
Yeah.
So basically, when a person is assassinated, a person is killed for the political voice that they have. That's why Martin Luther King was assassinated.
Influence, yes.
Yeah, you have the power to change minds with just your voice. And he did. He did. Now look, Trav, I know since you the word guy, or Miss Carla, I don't want to put you on the spot as the female. Can you look up the real definition for us? And Trav, because you was about to say something.
Oh, hold on. Hey, boy, you know I'm so rare. What's the definition you want?
Assassination.
Alexa, what is the meaning of assassination?
Assassination is usually defined as the murder of a person, especially for political reasons or for personal gain. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Thanks for your feedback.
You can be the most popular motherfucker in the world, but if you ain't saying shit that gonna change somebody's mind on their politics and fuck with that government, your ass got killed. But go ahead. What y'all think about that though? That's crazy how, you know what I'm saying? It's always, you have to be like Jesus was assassinated. Right. Jesus was assassinated. His words were, Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. This motherfucker is ending, you know what I'm saying, a way of life. You know what I'm saying?
Look at it like this.
Let me finish real quick. The point I'm making is that's if you die by murder, that you want to be assassinated because you live on. That's the point I mean. When they say you assassinated, your voice lives on. You'll be spoken about. Like George Floyd was murdered. He got a statue, but he was murdered because he didn't have a political voice. But go ahead, Trav. I just wanted to throw that out there since we was like sitting here like talking about the value of which one is more evil. And it's like, well, why he got assassinated and why he got killed or shot. Niggas get shot. We don't even get murdered. They were like, Johnny Boy got shot this week.
Now, yesterday morning, I had never in my entire life heard the name Charlie. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
In my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't never been in my conscience. Now, I've heard damn near a reference to everything he's ever said. Derogatory, positive, logical, illogical, emotional. So if that was the purpose and that's how it worked. See, we'll say, man, they kill a rapper so they can make more money off their album. Well, this is more powerful than the album if we even look at it. Not about us. Not this ain't got nothing to do with us. What if this is truly to spark a white revolution?
I was just about to say the exact word.
God damn, y'all. Just because you don't know that's they Tupac, don't make them wrong or right. That just ain't got shit to do with us. I ain't never heard of them or give a damn. But as I'm watching them, I ain't even saying he wrong or racist. I see how he kick his judo, but I know if I ever was able to be in a position to kick some with him, you saw a hell of a white man and a hell of a black man. But outside of that, hey, he kicked white man shit.
Well, I'll say this. I've been following for years. I've been sharing them. I actually enjoy them and love them. No different than I follow, like, and enjoy Candace Owens. No different that I've always followed, like, and enjoyed Donald Trump. Now, I'm not saying I got a scope of influence or nothing. I'm not saying none of that. I just know everybody that know me know I ain't no dumb, stupid, easily led astray nigga. I'm a very objective thinking nigga. I want to caveat and put a subject out here for y'all because I want y'all to weigh in on this when I'm trying to get black people to see about the souls of black folks. I like the guy because he was honest. You asked him questions. He bought statistics. He was never subjective. Now watch this. As a black man, one of the dopest stories I've ever seen was the movie 300, right? Leonidas, they come, give us earth and oil and water. And he like, look at his wife. She like, fuck that, go to war. You see what I'm saying? That white man in the South, that Confederate soldier. Let me explain to you how I see the story. I want a slave, and I'm an objective thinker. The white man in the South had his way of life. No matter what you say about it, that was his way of life. The American government sanctioned it and agreed to it. And then all of a sudden, Abraham Lincoln in the North and the Union Army said, change your way of life. The military, the Union Army, the military, like Donald Trump talking about sending the military, them white Southern farmers said, get your goddamn guns and come down here and fight and take these motherfucking slaves then. Boy, that's some of the realest, meanest, illest shit I ever seen in my life. That's a hero story to me. I'm not being subjective. I wish we had that in us. These were fucking farmers. They met them bitches at the Mason-Dixon line and fought them off for years. To the point where the North had to say, look, we don't want to destroy everything. We burning up all the goddamn cotton, the corn. We burning up all the now. Look, we'll make a treaty with you motherfuckers. We'll let y'all keep them statues. And we'll let y'all fly y'all flag high. Keep them statues. Let's stop fighting. Because if you keep fighting, by the time this war is over, the whole point the South was here will be gone. All the land devastated, all the crops, all the livestock. You see what I'm saying? Now, when I remove myself and my emotions from that story, That's a story I would tell my sons. Hey, listen, boys, my family owned land. You're going to be a bad motherfucker that eat iron and shit nails to take this from my family. And I think any man would tell his son that. So remove yourself from that. And I'm like, I'm not saying it's great. I'm just saying it's a perfect example of something like Leonidas. We love the movie 300. Y'all weigh in on that for me. I wanted to throw that out there to show what's happening now. These are the motherfuckers you waking up. The sons of them niggas. That's who you waking up when you shot that boy. That's who you waking up. And these are the same motherfuckers that say, hey, I don't like the fact that it's a black town over there thriving. Let's go take it out. These the motherfuckers that's been wanting. This is who you waking up. So as a father, as a person who feel like can be a leader, this is what I'm saying to black people. Shh. Let them go fuck with them. And we sit back. Because this is the first time ever in American history where black people can sit out and actually decide who we want to fuck with. I don't think we look at shit objectively.
Yeah.
And
that's our problem.
If I had to make a decision, I'm from the South. I grew up with white boys who had rifles in the back of their truck that flew that Confederate flag that I went to football practice with and spent the night and ate at their house. Them boys ain't racist, man. Them boys just like that story. That's some heroic shit, man. You fought for what's yours, whether it was slaves or whether it was fucking a football field. But I want y'all to weigh on that, man. That's just something I know I gotta leave. Not even emotional. It's just the story is just so amazing. Or what Hitler did for his nation. It's about the perspective, man. Hitler literally rose up from a factory worker and took Germany to World War where the United States didn't care. When they went in, it's like, this motherfucker really finna take over all of Europe. Man, that's some hero shit to me.
Yeah. You can go ahead, Carl.
And they tell you about Sitting Bull and all this other shit. I'm sorry, just go. They tell us all this shit and then decide which hero we should fucking choose. You should like Batman, and you should like the white man will tell you in the school books, we was fighting the Indians, and Sitting Bull was such a bad motherfucking Indian. He brave or he the bad, you know what I'm saying? They tell us which story that he was the best motherfucker we ever fought. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Carla. I hope y'all get where I'm coming from.
I get you.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, you're talking about turning the skin color inside out. So basically, at the time that you're discussing, the slaves were property. They weren't human. So when you devalue human beings and you claim them as property because you want your crops and everything else handled, if I'm on the opposite side and I'm in white supremacy, I'm going to see slaves as the diamonds I love to wear right now because they're valuable. Why are slaves valuable for me? Well, as a white woman, I'll play that. I don't got to do nothing but take care of these babies, breastfeed them, and make sure my husband's cooked and clean and fucked good. So other than that, my only duty as a white woman, since we want to come from the perspective, is to make sure that these crops are taken care of, because these crops matter, because we have to have it cropped and taken care of so we can have our food. It's a survival tactic. So am I going to get upset about survival, or am I going to get real about it? The reality is it don't have nothing to do. See, people get caught up in what you're saying and they don't listen to nothing. We don't give a damn about the slavery stuff you're talking about. The truth of the matter is, Black people at that time were considered property. Period. 3/16 of a human being, I believe is what they call it. I love diamonds to this day. Diamonds they're valuable to me. So we'll just say I take that metaphor and I say, okay, this is what the black man or the black humanity meant for my value, for my children, for my family, for my legacy, is how many slaves do I own? Because guess
Excuse me,
what?
caller. Do y'all hear that squeaking?
Yes.
Yeah,
I've been adjusting my system. I think it may be on because it was happening before Trav came in.
It stopped now. I don't know.
It be going when you talking. That's what I was about to say. Talk, caller.
So what I'm saying is the power of it is that I'm in gratitude to understanding that you'll take something like slavery that's very sensitive to the black human being. We have been taught for years that we are not human, that we have no value, that we're not worth shit. But if that's the case, how did slavery happen then? Why are our black men put and shoved in these chains and shit to cover your crops when obviously they knew that the strength of the black man was necessary to get the crops done? Right? So the value of it, we change the way we look at it versus getting caught up in emotion. I'm coming from a space of understanding that you're saying take your skin off for a minute and listen.
Caller, back up from your phone. Trav, go ahead. Weigh in on that because I'm setting some up. Weigh in on that, Trav.
Well, like you say, man. Going back to my granddad, I'm gonna tell the story. This is how I'm gonna weigh in on it. I was asking my granddaddy. I said, "Granddaddy, did you know your grandmama and your granddaddy?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "What did they tell you about slavery?" They ain't had to tell me nothing. I said, "What you mean, Granddad? You wasn't living during slavery. You were born in 1929. He said, "I'm trying to tell you, son. They ain't tell me about nothing. They ain't tell me nothing. I was in it. It didn't ever end. They just changed the name and make you think it ended. They called it sharecropping. We worked for the same white man, doing the same thing, and we thought we was getting paid, but at the end of the year, we tally up, and he say, we even."
And that's where the term break even come from.
Yeah. So he say, they ain't had to tell me nothing. So when you look at reality now, most things change. Some things change while most things remain the same. And the game don't change, the players do. And my granddad say, it's the same now. You ain't doing nothing without them. You go to work and you pay. And sometimes I know you break even, don't you? I said, go ahead on, Granddad. He said, ain't nothing changed, right? He said, but I tell you what, the reason I'm in Charlotte today, and he grew up in Waysboro down there in Paisley, down in that way. He say, you know, I was always one wanting to be more. Everything I did, I wanted to be more. So I asked the white man, I say, what I got to do to make some money? He say, you got to do this many more amount of bells. And doggone it, I was the best baller out there, for real, in the family. He said, and I got 2 more extra bells like he told me. And he said, he did his total, and he said, we even. And I said, you told me. And he said, I wanted to kill that bastard. And me and my wife went to the city. And I said, I didn't know what the hell I was going to do. But I wasn't staying on that cracker farm. No,
he had to humble himself, like you said.
you see what I'm saying? So it's all words. And even in words like slavery, entrepreneur, even if you're an entrepreneur, meaning you do business, you got to go meet at the trading line. You got to deal with him. Ain't no way around it. He controlled the infrastructure. So you can use whatever words you want to put you in whatever context, a diagram, a diaphragm, but his story is his. And if you listen to his story to determine your reality, in his story, his wife is the baddest motherfucking woman on earth. But in my story and in my grandparents' story, his wife wasn't shit. My grandma had to go raise his kids. Because his wife
Breastfed her
was
kids.
domestic enough to nourish and take care of her kids, and his kids grew up to be doctors and lawyers. That was at my grandma's funeral, made it like a goddamn movie, because this the black woman that was what my mama wasn't. And his wife became a psychiatrist. So in my story, yeah, I don't know what the fuck he was in here. But in mine, I was raised by some mighty black people, dog.
You know, you said something that's so ill that hit me. I say it all the time, man. We all depressed. You know, we talked about that the other day because I've had a year, right? This was the I ain't gonna say the worst year of my life. It's the year that helped me learn something. I remember having a year, and it was New Year's, and I ain't had no money to do nothing, even get a bottle of fucking champagne. And I said, I worked a whole goddamn year and I ain't got nothing. I ain't never gonna be like this again. You know what I'm saying? And when you said break even, boy, that shit hit me. And that shit won't ions ago. You know what I'm saying? That shit has been in my 30s, like as a grown man, you know, living on my own, like, God damn, I ain't got shit left in a whole year. And I know the tax man said, nigga, you made $48,000 this year. You ain't got a fucking dime to get a damn New Year's.
Yeah. Hey, look, that's real life shit.
I broke even on their ass. Trav, you fucked me up when your granddaddy said shit. We even. I understand they broke even, but then you said you break even too, don't you? I said, God damn, boy, I remember that shit distinctively.
Man, I experienced that, and my daddy told me to help me understand this because, like they say, expectations is the seed of disappointment. And sometimes we have self-expectations to say, God damn, I want to be better this cycle, but life is real. So my daddy told me when I was in that frustration, he said, look, son, it's one thing to be broke, but if you can look and see why you're broke, that's called handling your business. Now, when you ain't got nothing to show and nothing to see why you broke, that's when you're fucked up. But it's all right to be even on your ass when everything took care of and you just ain't got no money to do some bullshit. It's all right, son.
My granddaddy said, goddamn, the freezer full and the mortgage paid.
You see what I'm saying, man?
Freezer full. You know, it amazes me because sometimes this level of humility that our elders talk about. Now, let's go back to that word. Like you said, that Christmas bag with the nuts, the apples and the oranges and the hard candy. They knew if they could get that, they broke even. Now, the depression, like we talk about the sun, all they needed was the sun, Trav, the sun and the rain, right?
Yeah.
This depression, these things that we go through, these feelings that we go through is because I say all the time, we have a saying for this shit that's driving me crazy for years. You know the song I got, the bag.
Yeah.
The bag. We walk around as black people literally talking about a bag now. How I say in that song, how much money can you really have in a motherfucking bag? Just a couple of $100 grand, enough to get your ass laid in the sand. It's like saying our children and we as black people, not only do we want to break even and have some luxury, we want a fucking bag of money too. You get what I'm saying? When it said it's symbolic for I'm not happy with just breaking even. And what you say your daddy told you, if you broke and you can look around and the bills paid, the lights on, the car running, you got food in the fridge, you see why you broke. That ain't happen no more. They saying that that's humble. Where we at, breaking even and broke with everything paid, they say that's terrible. I need the bag. I'm chasing the bag, chasing the bag. Now look at words we say. We say we get up, we grinding. To grind something literally means take something that's big and make it small.
Right.
So mean, and the only way you can grind something is to continuously rub something on something over and over until you take something big and make it small. So we get up and we chase and we grind and we looking for this bag. How do we get our children to have a certain mindset like grandma breaking even and being broke, but shit taken care of? But you want to be a little above that. But baby, you that chasing that bag and that you see where I'm at. I think we put a lot of stress on ourselves because of simply not understanding that we are former slaves. That man, I mean, look, granddaddy, right, Trav? What's your granddaddy name? Call to shout him out, because really, we man, even if you doing more than breaking even, you really
Ben Forte.
all it takes is a sprained ankle and a week off the job, 2 weeks, and your ass right back at even, man. God damn, Grandpa. Say, what's his name again?
Ben Forte. Yeah.
Damn, boy, we breaking even, man. And that's what you want to fucking do if you can break even. Now, if you can break even.
I told my baby girl, she's 26. And she fell in love and everything. You know, she was still young, wet behind the ears. She moved out, got her love of her life and all of that. And when her and her ex decided to part ways, I told her the same thing my dad told me. You're homeless. Now, she was not feeling it at all. I know she was quite angry with me, and I know she didn't feel well, what we would call in well living at the time. But I shared it with her to help her to see the importance of not giving up. Because one of the things that my dad would always tell me is we don't quit. You know, we don't quit. And he would always tell me this. Like, it was almost like it was like code of conduct. There is no quitters here. So you're my child. So being that, we don't quit. So I called myself trying to be tough as a mom, and I said, you're homeless. Well, she's never come here after that.
You mean never came to your house? Oh, you mean just never needed to move home? Okay. I'm about to say, when the way you first said it, she's never come here. I'm thinking you said she like, fuck you. I never stepped foot in your house if I couldn't live there.
And you know what's funny?
She never had to move home.
No, she never had to come home. And even in a different storm, when she was kind of struggling in high school, I didn't bail her out. I said, you need to let me know am I coming to a graduation or not. That's what you need to let me know. So I never gave her the bailout or wheeled her in. I was tough on her, but I don't regret it. But I do understand that in my toughness, I had to develop her into being strong and in that strength. Because when she did end up getting into that rocky road and she did have to become a single mother, guess who she turned to? Guess who she started to respect? Guess who she started to mirror? She started to see, well, my mom, now mom, I respect you. I remember that, you know, you and I were toughing it out and stuff when I was little. So it's imperative that as parents, we realize how important it is to now not just get caught up. If we all look at all of the videos we've done thus far, all of us have referenced our father, grandfather. They have been the martyrs that we have looked up to. I don't know for how long we've been doing these, but that's who we look up to. That's who we reference. That's our source, even to this day.
Wow, man! I'm having such a good conversation. We've been all over the world and back, man.
Let me say this last piece, man. I gotta say this. Close.
Go ahead.
And this goes into the perspective, man, of everything. Like it burns my soul. It burns my soul about us being victims to everything. But that same granddaddy, when he was sitting in his last days, I was sitting on his porch. And he bought a house, I think, in in the 60s. He paid $9,000 for it. And when I was buying my first house at 21, they deemed my grandmama and them house as flood land. So they paid him off, and him and my grandma bought another house, and they bought their second house, and I bought my first house the same time. And years later, I was sitting on his porch. He said, Buck, you know what? You ain't gonna never meet too many men in life that own 2 deeds to 2 separate pieces of land. He said, your granddaddy did that. I said, yeah, granddad. And so I'm saying this to think about it. When we think about our story, in the midst of someone born truly through Jim Crow, truly through telling me he experienced slavery that was called sharecropping, working for free. And at the end of his story, he could grasp and tell his grandson, I own the deeds to 2 pieces of earth that's mine.
Yeah.
I can say, how can we be a victim in today's time when I stay in a state where white people walk by my house as the #1 estate and have to wave at a black man? If there's any victim mentality, they got to sizzle in their goddamn mind and say, how did this black man become the premier with all of my fucking advantages? How is he setting the standard? How dare we be victims when we have strength? God damn.
Because Trav, remember, there's so many victims because of the self-talk that we're being so negative internally.
I understand it.
Victimhood comes from, and a lot of times, Trav, the victim, Javon and I were talking about this earlier. You're talking about years and years and years of I'm talking about old conversations we've heard. It could be something overheard, not even to us. Javon almost got into a brawl with a friend over some conversations that have happened in the past. So it's the internal dialogue that's killing our soul and spirit, because we don't get into those conversations amongst like this and say, you know what, I do say this to myself. I do tell myself.
Carla, you just said something that me and Trav went back and forth. We had this ultimate debate one night. He don't realize he keep and it's funny because we asked the crowd who won, and it was just ironic that we tied. Now we sitting here talking about our daddies and our grandfathers and shit. This man keeps saying, my daddy taught me, my grandfather. Now his grandfather, now you said we was talking about being humble. Granddaddy said, look, what I got to do to make more money? And the white man told him, pick 2 extra bales of hay. He worked hard as hell. And he's told him we even. So granddaddy wanted to kill him. Granddaddy left, went to Charlotte, owned 2 houses, which, as old folks say, sired your daddy, which black power in the 70s, then now you got a son. So there's 4 generations. And I was telling you about the value and the power of a father and generational shit. And you kept saying some shit like, yeah, but it don't matter. It's where you end up. This motherfucker, he just encouraging like a motherfucker. I'm like, nigga, you got a super fucking advantage.
Oh man, that's deep. I feel you, man.
That nigga, my granddaddy owned 2 houses, a former sharecropper.
But I say that my defense was, even though I had an advantage, every man got the opportunity right now to be and create the advantage. That's
Are you bringing Trey? Are you bringing Trey into the show? Is she coming?
I told her she could. Trey Prue, you can come in. I put the links up there. All you got to do, I'm gonna put them again. Hey, let me say something real quick since we were saying that, Trav. And when you say one of the biggest things that the guy Charlie Kirk was on the hot seat for, I remember when he was at Wisconsin University. It was this young white boy, and he was talking, and he asked the white boy what. He was talking about white privilege, and he asked the white boy, what can you do now in this day and age that a black man can't do?
Oh, I saw that.
That's one of the biggest things. So Trav, you really saying what he's saying. That's really what you just said. You said you got the premier house on the block. You know what I'm saying? The white folks got to walk by and wave at you. You know what I'm saying? With the premier house on the block, with everything you done been through, your grandfather was a sharecropper. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's something that has been intertwined from the generations. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. That statute, that standard of virtue that will get us here.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think we so free and revolutionary and RBG and Black Power that we don't realize, hey, everything that you just said that you and your grandfathers did and your father did and you and what you're going to instill in your son, it's all white men is trying to put in their sons too, man.
The same thing.
Yeah.
The truth. The truth is universal. It ain't white. It ain't black. It ain't. It's how it works.
Did you get it to her, Javon? You need me to do it.
Do y'all see it? I'm putting the link in. You somebody put the link in there. What is she on? She on Facebook. I got the link in here. You know what, Trey Prue? I think Facebook might not let you hit the link. Go look at Trey Prue. If you want to come in, go to YouTube and click on the YouTube link. Because I see her on Facebook. I'm putting it up, but she says she don't see it. If you go to Javon's M. Clark Aggressive Church on YouTube, you'll be able to click that link. What I think it is, StreamYard don't let you stream, don't let comments come from your actual Facebook page. They let comments come from like a business page or one of those group situations. So Trey Prue, if you can switch out to YouTube, you can go to this is being live on my Modern Masculine Man YouTube and my Javon M. Clark Aggressive Church, and then you'll be able to click the link. But yeah, you know, Trav, that's pretty much what you're saying. And I remember saying a while ago, the only privilege the white man got over the black man now is when he leave the club drunk, the police won't shoot him. I want to talk about real quick institutional racism and what that actually is. When they had signs up that said blacks back here, you can't work here, motherfucker. You can't eat here. You can't do this. There were laws in place. Now, we do know once you remove those laws for so many years, you're going to have people that try to kind of pseudo enforce those laws. There's a word called de jure racism and then de facto racism. I can't remember which one is which. De jure, I think de jure is just, this is straight up the law on the book. No niggas inside. De facto racism is we ain't letting no niggas on the golf course, but we ain't got no rule, but we gonna keep y'all ass out. I think that's what it is, or either it's vice versa. Somebody put that up for me. I don't know why I say that, because I just hate to put out wrong information. The motherfucker be like, this de jure, this de facto, and be wrong about it.
Right.
So what we have is, right now, there's nothing on the books. There's nothing on the books. The problem with us is we don't want to join these institutions that we say are racist. So say, for example, what I mean. Police force. What's up, Trey Prue? I'm going to finish this up, then we're going to get you in. I want them to weigh in on this question real quick. The police force, right? The police force wouldn't allow black men to patrol white neighborhoods and wouldn't even allow us to be cops at one time. Now we saying the police force is racist, but we have the ability to say every black man that turns 18 in every city of America, go downtown and join your local police force. And what can happen is we will have more black cops than there are white cops. Now that ain't saying we gonna control the world, but it's saying we ain't gonna shoot our own people and police our own people in a certain way. Black people don't want to be judges. We don't want to be DAs. We don't want to be court counsel. We don't want to be nothing, probation officers. Police and the law is the only level of power and authority that black people get to engage with, because we don't talk to our senators. We don't talk to our congressmen. So a police is the first level of law and authority. That's what Italians did. That's what Irish did. They joined the police force because that gave them some influence and power in the community. Somebody said black police still have to follow the system. They do have to follow the system. And that's a brother from X, Lower Salisbury. Thank you for coming. Black police do have to follow the system, but a black cop is not going to walk up and choke the fuck out of George Floyd. A black cop is not going to walk up and fucking shoot Tamir Rice down with a damn plastic gun. You know why? Because he know his job is going to be lost. A black cop ain't shooting nobody. You know what I'm saying? But the point I'm making is we don't have racism on the books anymore. So at one time, Trav could have been screened out of his neighborhood legally. Now, if Trav credit score good enough and blah, 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 he can live where he want to live. So that's what Charlie Kirk was saying. The walls and the rules of racism has been broken down, but you'll always have individual racists. What's up, Trey Prue? How you doing? Trey Prue. Her shit just...
Hello, Javon. M. Clark.
What's up? What's
Mr.
up?
Trap,
What's up?
Harry.
Hey,
Hello.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Hey, look, before you start, Trey,
I'm hoping that this, because you're breaking up to me. So hi, Miss Carla. Can y'all hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can hear you.
this is one of our
You
most
can't hear me?
Yes.
loyal watchers
Okay.
right here. Go ahead, Trey.
Before my sound go out. Hi, good evening, everyone. So I heard what you were saying a little bit. It was breaking up on my side. And then I'm off topic. I wanted to come in specific because I was mad. I wasn't mad. You know how we get in our feelings, but no, I wanted to be a little girl yesterday, and I want to be a little girl today too. But I get on the topic where you were talking about Chris with the gown, and that's what I'm saying. I know you're talking about something else, so I don't mean to come in, way
No,
off topic. Is that okay?
No, go ahead. This is always education. This we want. We want people to
Go
come
ahead.
in.
I heard. Go ahead. I heard. Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah. So yesterday when I don't know if I'm freezing up, I'm gonna give it a try. Do this if something happens so I can
We can
stop
hear you.
talking.
We
But
can hear you.
yesterday it was Chris in the gown, and I did make the comment of why couldn't the gown speak for her, basically. You was like, I don't want no little girl, I want a woman to tell me what she want, and I get it. But you know what? I just got off the road. I've been driving 10 hours. I'm tired, but I still feel the way I feel. Sometimes I want to ask the question, sometimes is it okay for the sexy nightgown to speak? Because as that little girl and as that...
She breaking up. I'm gonna explain her situation until she come back in. Basically, real quick, and Trav, you weigh in on this too, and Carla, I want you to weigh in on this too, because like I say, it's caveat, but we gonna answer her question because she's one of our most loyal followers, and it's a real question. Long story short, I'm in the studio making a song. I had to be to work at 10 o'clock, right? All right. I had to be to work at 11 or 10. I can't remember. But anyway, I'm in the studio and I'm making a song. And Trey, I'm about to bring you back in and let you ask your question. I'm in the studio. I'm making a song. Chris walks through the house with a nightgown on. It wasn't a lingerie. It was just a nightgown, like a little muumuu, but it was open. I could see her body. And she walked through the kitchen and got some water, some blah, blah, blah. And I'm in the studio. When I get out of the studio, I got a certain amount of time to take a shower and go to work. When I get out of the shower, she said, Dag, I wanted to have sex, but you was in the studio. I said, well, why you ain't say nothing? You know what I'm saying? I would have stopped doing what I was doing. She's like, because I ain't want to mess up your studio time. Trey Prue said the nightgown should have been the sign. Let her back in and talk on it. But I explained just in case she breaking up. Go ahead, Trey Prue. I explained the scenario. Explain why you feel like the nightgown should have been the sign.
Hey, I'm trying to walk away from the buses. I don't know.
I think we can hear you now. If we can't,
I'm sorry. I really wish.
Yeah.
Okay, do this again if I need to stop, because last time I disappeared. But
Okay, go ahead. We can hear you.
He was here, and I heard you respond. But I wanted to know, without being outside of your teaching, because as
She just might be in a bad space right now. I ain't gonna keep, you know what I'm saying?
I just
Trav, weigh in on that, because let me say this: sometime the nightgown can be, but that wasn't that. Now, if you come out specifically, but Trav, you weigh in. I don't want to.
Well, like I say, I mean, I get the gist of the circumstance. I don't think it's about right or wrong. You got to know what matters to who matters, and that moment could have been more so about you or more about her. But the fact that she say, "Well, I felt like you should have noticed me in my moo-moo," but like you say, expectations is the seed of disappointment. So anytime you put expectations in something more than you assert yourself, then that's the seed. But I don't think she was wrong for expecting that. And if more so anything, now you understand that's where she at. So it ain't no drawn out, you know, well, my bad. All right, damn, I ain't know, but I ain't got time now. But, you know, run the play again. I won't drop the ball.
Let me try her one more time, man. She might, because I really want to get her. Let me try her one more time.
Yeah, run the play again. I won't drop the ball.
Run it back.
I'm sorry.
Right? Can we run that back? That was just last night, right? Can we go back?
Okay, we can hear you good now.
Okay, good. I walked away from them buses. Good. So yeah, I was hearing what Trav was laying down, and that's the question. Can we run it back? Like, I mean, because, or is it too? I mean, because you went to work, didn't you?
Yeah, I had to go to work. Now the next time, you see what I'm saying? The next time I'll see her in there, and I'll be like, "Yo, what's up? You trying to do something?" You know what I'm saying?
But wait. You in an open marriage, right? And you went to work, so she might be good by the time you got home. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, if that's what it is, she might be good.
And guess what? And being in an open situation, real life, if she good, she good.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If she masturbates, she good. What I'm simply saying is, I had to fucking go to work. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right, we'll see you when you get home.
Yeah, you know, it's an old saying that closed mouths don't get fed, right? So what I'm saying is, I'm a man. I can take a hint, but in a situation where I'm doing something and you really want something, I think you should be old enough to see and respect that I'm doing something and come ask me and not try to make me feel guilty about not noticing your little moo-moo. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I mean when I say as we move forward. And next time you run the play like Trav say, I'm like, hey, you got your little shit on you. You know what I'm saying? Do you want to do something? Miss Carla, what you think?
Yeah. And like I say, even if that's the expression at the end, I mean, that goes into a very small portion of ain't nobody but the bullshit. I mean, that's bullshit that make a relationship is what it is. Sometimes you need that, you know, and that may be a new place she running. And we may not, and I'm saying this, Trey Prue, from a woman, I would say, perspective of me, sometimes y'all get new plays that y'all want to test out, and you seeing if the moo-moo got it. You seeing, or you craving attention. And I ain't realized that I've been on a real pattern every day trying to get this song out, trying to get this album out. And she been trying her best not to interrupt, not to say nothing, trying to understand. But the soul can't keep no secret that behavior won't reveal. So she behaving any kind of goddamn way to say.
Flipping upside down and putting shit on that you normally don't have on.
That ain't wrong.
No. Hey, what you think, Miss Carla? Because sometimes I think, in my personal opinion, as a man, a lot of times we initiate sex, or when a woman initiates sex, it's not walking up to a man, start kissing and rubbing on him. It's like her saying, you know, I want some tonight. I feel like that's pressure on me. So in my personal opinion, I told her, I said, I wish you would have just walked up behind me and rubbed me on the shoulders. Mm-hmm. See, you see what I'm saying? We both can have an opinion about the thing. You know what I'm saying? But if Men want to feel wanted, or like women said foreplay, like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times with women, I'm not saying my wife or talking in general, but in my experiences with women don't necessarily initiate sex. They might hint and put their butt on you, but what if I want you to come over and kiss me softly on the ear or something to help me get my engine going? You know what I'm saying? That's what I was saying.
I don't think no man really. I'm gonna use the word wants that aggressive. I think a man wants to chase and hunt. I mean, I think that's a natural order in the nature of a man. You know what I mean?
I
Feel
definitely
good
agree with you.
Ego, but nah, I'm a hunter.
Hey, look, let me ask you something now, because you just, I ain't even got to ask you because you just said how you feel. I believe I'm a hunter too, but sometimes I want to know that you want me outside of just hinting around or flicking it around the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, go ahead, Trey Prue.
What I'm saying is that you may have wanted her to come up and kiss you on the neck, and you wanted her to say something too. But I'm saying in those moments where we revert back to that you know exists, I mean, we're never going to stop being a woman. So if you, I mean, more mature, sure, we are striving to be that in those areas. But in some areas, what all I'm saying is, can you just stall us out? If she put the nightgown on, come on now.
Well, you have to understand, my wife always wear nightgowns. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
I guess what I'm saying is, ultimately, like Trav said, she run the play again, pick up on it. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, what I'm saying is, as a leader in my household, if I allow that to go and be in that little girl situation, there's another situation and another situation and another situation. I'm saying ultimately, adults should be able to express openly what they want without fear of rejection or fear of anything. That's what I'm ultimately saying. That's not saying that I'm not a man, that I can't pick up the signs on my wife. You know what I'm saying? I literally won't stop and shit to finish this song. Literally. You know what I'm saying? But if she would have touched me or said, hey, then I might have stopped. But at that time, the nightgown in your body wasn't more enticing than the song. So I just feel ultimately the rules of engagement has to be set. And the rules of engagement of how I like to deal with people, how I talk to Trav, how I talk to Carla, how I talk to you, we forming a super team. You know what I'm saying? And I'm always open, honest, and transparent. Miss Carla, I need you for this. I need you for this. Trav, I need you for this. Go ahead.
You already know. You better buckle up.
Go ahead.
Okay. So let's talk about women for real. You know, for me, I know a lot of people think I'm tough on women, and I am. I get into women's asses. I don't play. But I also am a woman as well. So let me put you up on game about how the woman works. So one of the things I'm working on in coaching with women is to teach them not to go into the soul freeze. So what happens is, if a woman wants to get intimacy or she wants to be sexed and loved on, a lot of times there is no words for women. We just give the signs. So men usually, listen, men are visual. We attention based upon how y'all see us optically. You're moved by what you see. So if I'm wearing booty shorts and thongs and walking around the house with you and might throw on just a real pretty lacy bra, no top, whatever, I'm giving you a sign, not necessarily to just get you off and get upstairs and let's get this done. But sometimes I know for a fact as a woman that men love our skin, they love our asses, they love our shape. They love
smell
that. That's sexy shit. So in the midst of all of this, as a woman, you guys are going to be moved when you see a little leg, a little thigh, a little ass. That's just what it is. Y'all are into that. But again, remember earlier today, You mentioned that you're struggling writing the book, but you said that you will hold off your wife to get this music done, right? So ain't nothing gonna stop you from getting that song done.
Mm-hmm.
When your wife walked in with her little cute stuff on, you're saying, well, look, she wears nightgowns all the time, but does she wear those types of nightgowns?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be paying attention as a husband, because we give y'all the sign that it's go time. We don't
Let me say this to you. So and Trav, I want you to speak on this, and I don't want to get nobody in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes women need to understand men get older. Our testosterone ain't the same, and you don't excite us the same. So walking through the house just with a nightgown might not been exciting enough for me to what I'm doing right now. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes women have to understand that men don't feel like fucking. And we live in a world where if a woman wants sex and a man don't want to have sex, she think we cheating or doing something or think it's something wrong with her, when I might just have something on my goddamn mind. And I think women need to understand that. So what I'm saying is, we adults, so we don't get confused. I have no problem with telling my wife. There's been times that I have gone to my wife and tried to initiate something, and she had the right to simply say, baby, I had a long, hard day. The last thing I want to do is have sex. And I feel like I got that fucking right too, even if she walk around sashaying in some shit.
Well, what I'm saying, I understand.
No, I understand. What I'm saying is, I understand you perfectly.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, ultimately, if we choose to say, hey, listen, always be willing to communicate effectively, regardless of the situation. Mm-hmm. Everybody deserves the right to say no. I had a joke in my comedy show. As a man, you can't tell your woman no. Mm-hmm. Because they feel a certain type of way. And my mama, it could be my mom's fucking death anniversary. Yes. So what I'm saying is, Carla, don't get me wrong. I understand you perfectly. Mm-hmm. I understand you perfectly. This was just one of those situations, you know what I'm saying? But Trav, Carla, I mean, you go ahead, respond.
Let me finish this one thing. But for me, so you know, my partner and I don't live in the same, we don't reside in the same spot. So I can't just push my ass up on him.
Yeah.
But what I can do is notice if some days he may not want to, because he's trying to get the hell up out of here, because he knows you're not going to go laying down and nothing's going to happen. It's going to happen. So he'll leave, right? Then I might feel away or feel, you know, I might feel, because I'm like, I am usually more sexually charged and hungry because I'm always on that. So he's like, well, I'm going to go ahead and head to the house. Now, all of a sudden, energetically, I'm all cool because I'm thinking it might be tonight. I might get it. And I don't. The decline of energy goes quick. And then he'll call me on his way home. Now, why are you calling me? Because now I'm agitated because
you want to make sure you ain't mad because you ain't getting no dick.
Right, but I was upset. And
it's a pressure. I'm saying it's a pressure for us to perform.
I know, but that's what I'm telling you is we are women. We don't have the dialogue y'all have, because as women, we can't just say, "Hey, you know what? I really want it tonight. I don't want."
Caller. I ain't never did this on a live. I'm gonna have to call bullshit now. You a life coach now. This is what you do. You teach women to you teach women this. So I know you are, but when he call you, he just heat checking you to make sure you ain't upset that he left, you know.
I know, but I can still be in the deep freeze.
You can.
Yes.
I understand. You know, Trav, it's funny because Trav, I want you to weigh in. I know we on a different subject, but the people still watching. The funny thing is, Trav, I want you to weigh in. It's like, why we can't just have a day where we don't, you know what I'm saying? She like, well, I'm a woman, you should just understand. What about the days that we want some and they got a headache? And I'm like, I'm a man with a dick. You should just understand. You know what I'm saying? We should just understand them. That's what I mean when I say clear-cut communication always. But Trav, what you think?
Well, like I said,
they're like my wife in the back, nigga. I ain't saying shit.
Hey, look, no. I still say the circumstance or what it sounded like the situation was. I mean, you was into the song, you had to be to work, you ran out of time. Man, I ain't trying to be late. The only other option was, all right, come on, let's hit it right quick. Goddamn, I got enough time. Goddamn,
but I can't function like that.
But hold on. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying that's the only option. Or I ain't got time. Or I ain't in that space. That's real. I mean, that's real life shit. I mean,
this is real.
It's an understanding that goes with that, man. You bullshit. She gonna cuss you out. She gonna say what she gonna say, but that's real life shit. But I also want to say this too. I always say if you know how it works, you can make it work, and you got to know what matters to who matters. So it's like confidence, insecurities. It's a certain confidence that a woman has in her home where there's no humbleness. It's a certain confidence that a man has in his home where there's no humbleness. When his mind says, I'm finna go turn the knobs, and it comes on like the stove.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a real thing. And that has to work in her mind. And when the stove come on and you realize that the meat ain't unthawed, you say, well, goddamn, hey, look, yeah, but you know you can turn it on, baby, I'm late for work. And if you going through something or she going through something, then that's understandable. But that's just like a man saying, like some men got to go lay down, get 3 no's, 2 hand smacks, in a foot rub for the magic door open up. And at some point, he got to realize that's the goddamn code. And if he don't never realize that's the code, she be over there, man, like, damn, this motherfucker don't know. I just want to feel like I'm worth the chase. You see what I'm saying? So it's all about how it works. It ain't no logical way or to say a nigga got to know when the moo in there. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Let me say something, and I want to ask what y'all think. I'm sorry.
Let me say this, Javon. Yeah, maybe she should have goddamn put one titty out in the t-shirt.
Yeah, she had this shit on and it was open. It looked good. I looked up like, oh shit, my baby looking good. I'm saying.
What the hell you doing? You know what I mean? What it looked like. Ain't no telling where to go, but you know.
Hey, let me say something real quick. Carla said something that's so real, and I got to fuck with Carla for a sec, because Carla, you know, I expect you to be the one to understand, and when the man called back just to check to see if you good, to say, yeah, baby, you know how you talk. Yeah, honey, I understand. You left because you wasn't in the mood. I'm not upset. It's almost like, as a man, I guess women bear the brunt of certain things for us too. But almost as a man, I feel like we bear the brunt. It's like, how can I say this? As a man, the experiences I've had with women in general and being a married man is we learn how, like he said, to turn the stove on, right? Mm-hmm. And some of it is by practice, but a woman will tell you, nah, that ain't it. Hit that switch over there, blah, 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 blah. And so we kind of listen and learn, you know what I'm saying? In my experiences, like I said with Carla, you know, we joke all the time. Do you like the fried chicken? It's a little salty. Well, I'll never cook fried chicken for you again. So my experience with women, when I started to tell them, hey, this is how you push my buttons and turn my stove on, they be like, well, if you don't like how I turn you on, goddamn it, I ain't got to. Women don't take a lot of instructions. I've been told, you know, just jokingly, be like, hey, look, suck it like this. Suck your own damn dick then if I got it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you know, Javon, man, you taught me this, brother, and it's something real right here. This something real. You said that a woman really also wants to have sex 2 times a month. and that's when she ovulated. And you said in between times, she having sex more likely because she like you and want to please her man. And that's some real life shit. And I say it's real life because if you really pay attention, which your attention is the most powerful thing you can pay, you will see that cycle in your woman. Because my woman love me and want me, and I know how to turn her on, I'm granting access. But there's a cycle in her nature where that motherfucker fire burning. And
A real life cycle.
And if you understand that cycle and Trey Prue, and you in tune with it, and that's a representation of the moo. You understand. You see what I'm saying? But that
You gotta
goes
feel it.
back-
Caller disagree. I think
Hey,
Caller
look, that goes back to
twice.
your attention is the most. Well, like I say, Carla, I'm talking about in the nature of the
I
woman.
get it. No, I get
If
it.
you like him, he can turn you on at his disposal. So
Yeah.
you know,
I'm just a little more sexually hungry, I guess. But
Yeah,
I was boy
I feel
crazy.
you.
But I was boy crazy. So, you know, you can I don't apologize. I just tell you what it is. I don't have no low drive. It's just not me.
Yeah, but you know, like I said, this is what I'm saying. The mercy of like, what I'm saying is, for the most part, every time that I didn't have sex, I was made to feel bad in some way, form, or fashion. When I said made to feel bad, I don't mean somebody trying to, but just to kind of, what's wrong? You okay? Your nuts hurting? Are you sick? I don't want to do it.
Okay.
It's you know what I'm saying? It has been, and I'm not saying made to feel bad. It's like you said, when he called you back, you still in freezer mode. It's like, why is it that there are times that we've been turned down and we sneak in the bathroom and sneak and do some, and then I done got caught sneaking after being turned down, and then got mad at me for doing that. Like, hey, you wouldn't give me none. I went in the bathroom to sneak and do something, and you done came in and caught me and said, I can't believe you in here doing. I'm like, God damn, what the fuck? You know, I'm just being real without being too graphic. You know, we all adults. It's all adults watching the show. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's like,
How many we got on tonight, by the way?
it's 139 right now.
So
Yeah.
again, remember you didn't think we were gonna do too good. But
Yeah. You know, Thursday night football. Hey, Trav, I want you to comment on this. And Trey Pugh, you've been bears and bubbles before we get out of here. I was saying before, we can choose to watch a movie or we can choose to watch a nightmare. Either way, we don't know if we right. We can just choose to what to think. So I said, okay, you remember I called you today, Trav. I said, Trav, we got some momentum going. I want to go on. And you see how excited I was, right? Soon as I got off the phone with you, shit pop up on my screen. Prime Video, Thursday Night Football. I said, damn, it's Thursday night. God damn, you know what I'm saying? Then I started thinking, man, people going to be watching football. I'm watching this movie now of people going to be watching football and they ain't going to tune in. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would they tune in to us? That's what my mind starts saying. That negative self-talk that Carla was talking about. And I want you, I want Trey Prue. Yeah.
Let me say this on that because Thursday night is my night for my show.
Exactly.
And I've been consecutive, faithful with that. And I took the challenge when you called me, man. That was an honor. You say, man, we want to do this. And my intentions was hit it, quit it, get on. But I say, man, when it feel good, you go with the flow and you let go and let God. And in that sense of when I say God, meaning things that's for me and with me. And I spent this Thursday night, the whole night, and even to have Trey Prue on as an addition to this with y'all, man, it's been a soul honor, and it ain't been a sacrifice at all.
Nope.
It's been a true positive addition to a Thursday night that's special to me, dog.
That's dope, man, because, you know, when it got 9:25, I was about to say, hey, man, you know, you got your show. But then I was like, hey, he a grown ass man. And I ain't no need to bring that up right now. He know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? And that's a situation where I believe in the humility, because you said it just now. I didn't want, because in my mind, I'm thinking that I know this nigga been consistent with his show like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to bring that up. And you got people that tune in to you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it's a Trey Prue. What you think about that as far as, you know, the negative self-talk? And, you know, we can choose to watch which movie we want to, but I found myself watching a movie of tonight, ain't nobody coming in because of the Thursday night football. And that's, I think that's the biggest battle right there. The battle of the
Yeah.
conversation in our fucking head. That's the biggest battle. Trey Pooh,
Yeah.
I want you to weigh in on that.
Oh yeah. Listen, I'm under 3 liters right now. 1, 2, 3. All of y'all on the screen. I'm under 3 liters right now, and I drive for a living. So all I'm doing is thinking, and it's all always going on up in here, whether I got music going or just silence. I was excited yesterday to hear you were coming back. I was like, man, I'm gonna be driving. So then I promise you, I left the fuel station, and I'm a little irritated in my spirit. And what popped in my head? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Some say they do, but they really don't. Some say they will, knowing they won't. Because that struck me. It strikes me. That song strikes me at times when I'm dealing with people, and there's nothing we can really. What's been on me the last couple of days is I'm at the mercy out here in this world, out here at work, around people. We're at the mercy of people. I'm talking about someone could be looking to sabotage you. You got to turn the channel. You have to bubble hop. I'm struggling up on them bubbles, trying to hop up because I'm so tired of people around me. I'm at the mercy of them. My job could be gone in one day if one person have a bad day and say some stuff sideways, and then I'm out of a job over some mess, over something that ain't true. I'm at the mercy of everything and I'm at the mercy of myself. That's when I get up on that bubble. That's when I get. So this is a good channel tonight, and the numbers show it. Damn, they go my boss. And the numbers show it.
Get your ass
The
over
numbers
out
show
and
it.
go get
Everybody's
5.
scared of him. Oh, that's Michael. No, that's Michael. Everybody's scared of my
Yeah,
boss
I'm
anyway.
just scared. And you better not be scared of him neither.
Miss Carla, take us out of here because I gotta go to work. And like I said, Trav said when the God spirit move, you know what I'm saying? Because I kind of can. I'm supposed to be there at a certain time, but I can kind of, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, the spirit moving, man, So we talking about the soul of Black folks. We talking about the living soul path. We talking about Numbers 9. I just like the fact, man, when I say, and I just want to give a spiel for y'all and shout out. I like the fact that everybody understands a lot of stuff, but see that truth is universal. I've had some people hit me up like, what's this living soul shit? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you just gotta move forward and say fuck the detractors, and Trav breaking down words, and people looking at shit a certain way, and it's like the fact that all 3 of us up here, and this sister says she under leadership of 3 people, it's kind of like how Trav understood the
living soul, and I didn't even talk to him.
And weighed in on the number 9 and the fire. You know what I'm saying? The sun is the fire, and we take the sun and the wood, and we make heat and eat. We slaughter during the winter. You know what I'm saying? And these numerology, I mean, it's a lot of stuff I don't talk about because so many people have fucked up good universal truth with pseudo bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just glad that we all got the same level of understanding about certain things and can kick that judo in different ways without somebody saying because introducing y'all to my platform, just being honest, I always be honest with y'all. Some you got people saying, y'all, what's up with this soul shit, nigga? You ain't in church. I'm like, if either watch or buy. This is where I'm going. We talking numerology. We talking what we know is universal truth, and universal truth comes in all different packages and all different languages. There's a creation story with a fucking flood in every goddamn society. So you know what I'm saying? I just appreciate y'all for coming on and fucking with me.
I want to appreciate all of you because I've been behind the scenes helping you and Trav with your show, and it's just very honorable to be amongst the 2 of you because you guys are powerful Black men that I'm just really in honor that you guys support and you guys accepted me, and it's been a journey because I'm trying to make sure that I'm not putting all of my what I would say, influence all over your show. Because you and Trav have your own stuff. So I'm like, I just want to make sure that I honor what you guys are, what your flow is, how you guys are drowning into y'all's own, I would say, identity in the, Tough Talk Tuesdays. And I love it because I didn't meet either one of you physically yet at all. So it's been honorable to see the energetics come to be on the banners. That's how I got to be also in awe of both of you. So I'm just in honor of that. But with the Living Soul, it is just a guidance system. People that are a little bit intimidated by it is because it's different.
Yeah.
But what we know is the accuracy of helping us to guide and learn how to basically make more intentional decisions off of the earth numbers, the soul elements, and our archetypes really helps us to build understanding of self. We have a better love of self when we understand self.
Yeah, everything is rhythms. Carl, I think that's you squeaking because you see how you stop. I think the closer you get to your phone, it squeak.
I'm actually I'm at my laptop, so I know.
Oh, it seemed like it was squeak. I don't know. I ain't trying to put. I'm blaming it on the goddamn woman. I'm saying, it's just like squeaking. Blame it on the rain.
Right.
Trav, take us home with some of that preaching shit, or just give us something good, man. Trav, I'm gonna always be like, Trav, hit us with the benediction, man.
Yeah, man. Tonight, I had my word out, and my word was flavor. That was gonna be the word for my show tonight. And as we talk and as we summing up, I heard a saying in my mind say, you got to practice what you preach, and you got to be what you teach, and to represent one of some powerful different flavors of truth, understanding, genuineness, souls that's giving something to the world that we all know is bigger than us. We can get in ideals to say, if God is on the inside, do you understand it enough that it's on the inside of everybody? So you receive and you give God through we all we got, we all we need. And everybody got a flavor. Like we say, they left a bad taste in my mouth. I ain't going there no more. I ain't dealing there no more. Well, in the word of flavor, man, we that Napoleon ice cream. We that Napoleon ice cream box. You know what I mean, man? And if you just rub across and get a scoop, boy, that strawberry, that chocolate, and that vanilla together, gonna be good in that cup. And it's been good, man. So
true.
Know your flavor. Know your flavor. My flavor is called Hero Training and Hood. So know your flavor, know your style, know your judo, and kick your shit with all you got.
Hey Trav, look, this is where I'm supposed to be humbled. I got to put you on the goddamn spot for fun. You took me back that chocolate, that red, and that fucking vanilla ice cream, right? And in my home, for some reason, nobody liked the chocolate. It would always be a tall ass cup of chocolate left, and we would eat that last. I would go on the ice cream and be like, God damn, the chocolate left. I'd be like, oh well, fuck it, I got to eat some ice cream. So that chocolate would always be left. But boy, let me fuck with you. That my nigga said that Napoleon. I tell you something, a joke. When I was growing up, right, I got my ass whooped behind that ice cream.
Yeah.
My granddaddy called it that Napoleon, and I started learning to read, thinking I'm getting smart. And my granddaddy said, go there and get that Napoleon ice cream. I said, it's Neapolitan. Slap! Don't correct me, boy.
Hey, is it Neapolitan for real?
Yeah, Neapolitan.
Where the hell I get Napoleon from?
Hey, look, do me a favor just for kicks and giggles. Ask Siri.
Yo, Alexa, but don't you disrespect Alexa like that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, ask Alexa.
Alexa, what is the ice cream called where you got strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate?
From Wikipedia.org. Neapolitan ice cream is made of blocks of ice cream, chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry side by side in the same container.
I don't know why in the hell I said Napoleon.
Because it looked like Napoleon.
That what
It
he
looked
called
like
in the Black House.
Look, I know that's what. Listen, I got slapped. Listen, my family would tell that story
Oh my
every
God.
year. My granddaddy ain't never hit me but one time, bruh. I corrected him about that goddamn ice cream. My granddaddy had got them cookies. My grandma had made some banana pudding, and my granddaddy said, and this is funny. He called me Jerome. I don't know why. Jerome, go in there and get me that Napoleon ice cream. I said, Granddaddy, it's Neapolitan. Slap. He didn't even care whether I was right. Boy, don't correct me, goddamn.
Hey, Javon, and I put a real second of thought in trying to make sure I got it right too. I ain't pushing with you.
Well,
And look, I'm about to type it, Neapolitan.
Javon struggles with saying what the shit. What was the name of the
Suppose, and suppose. I fucked that up. You know what I'm saying?
What is it that you say every time we talk about your
Now watch this. Notice I ain't said it. I got a fucking flag from YouTube saying that I was given false medical advice, and it took me to the part of that video when I always say it's antimicrobial.
Yes.
Yeah, it said your video cannot be monetized because you're giving false medical advice. Took me to that video, the spot in the video. And I looked at it and I'm like, that's when I'm giving my Sage announcement. And I'm like, it's antimicrobial, it's antibacterial. They was like, nigga, you better stop saying that shit. But you notice they ain't saying that shit no more.
You haven't, but you've been struggling saying it anyway. So
That's look, I'm gonna tell you, I will have to slow down like Trap. I will be like, so you have to do what you're supposed, and the kids just bust out like they be like, suppose, Clark. My wife fuck up bring and take. She be like, bring that in the kitchen with you. I'll be like, take that in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God. But you know,
She'll look at me and be like, bring. I'll be like, Chris, bring. It's like bought. I meant brought. Bring brought. But
I told you, I said you were a wordologist, so it's funny that you struggle with that word.
But you know what though, man, that's a powerful thing because my grandma couldn't say no T. Every T she said C. So she would call me Krabbis, and all my friend, my cousins, hey Crab, hey Krabbis, or she would, that's a pretty crook you got. So but it's like, think about. And I used to think it used to be the way people's tongue was made or their lips was made. I never understood why people could and couldn't say things. But think about the day, man, how someone really couldn't. You know what I mean? Like today, could we accept and love through those type of things? And I think they exist today, man. I think we just don't talk enough to really hear people get open. And they say shit from there,
Well, you know what they mean. I give you a perfect example, and I wanted to say something to my grandfather about this, but after he smacked me over that Neapolitan ice cream, I never said it. Now watch this. How you say this? My granddaddy could say SCR. He would say, "I want a strawberry." SCR, strawberry. And but watch this. He could say STR. He would say screwdriver. So we know he can say ST and SC, but to him, it's not a strawberry. It's a strawberry, SC. And it's not a screwdriver, SC. It's a screwdriver, ST. So I know he can say ST and SC. He just mixing them bitches up. Hey, boy, go in there and get me a damn screwdriver. A screwdriver? Boy, them strawberries good as hell.
Call her how you say ambulance. That's what I want to hear.
And you know what's hilarious?
I say that worse, ambulance.
My mother used to get upset with my dad's mother because they did not have a good daughter-in-law, mother-in-law relationship. And so my grandmother would tell my mother, "This ain't your house. This is Richard's house." And my mom would be hot. Like, she just told me it's not my house. But she wouldn't say your house.
Yourn.
She'd say Ewan. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just all kinds of different ways that it was accents, and it was just different ways that people would say things. but we knew what it was.
Yeah.
If we stood to correct, we would get popped easy.
Mindsing. That's something my family used. I fuck around and still say that today. Mindsing. But like minds.
Right.
Well, family, I appreciate y'all, man. We had a good night. Y'all stay tuned, man. Mondays, me and Chris took this test, so we're going to be back on Mondays at 8. Me and Trav, Tough Talk Tuesdays at 8. Me and Carla, Randy Raven, Wednesdays at 8. And I'm going to be coming on Thursdays at 8 with the round table. Hopefully I get my people on there. I know my man Trav got his show. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to be off by the time his show starts so I can always share his show so we don't be goddamn double dipping like that. So I might come up Friday with my guy Monster just to have some fun. You know, the beautiful thing about this is, and what y'all say about kicking your judo, y'all two made me like doing this right here. People been telling me I should do this for years. And I fucking didn't want to do it so bad. I hated the idea of a podcast. But when I got up here and talked to y'all and having fun and just knowing that we putting some good vibrations and some good words out in the universe, man, y'all, I really appreciate y'all. Y'all made this shit right here fun for me. Like the Bears and Bubbles is cool, but the podcast and sitting here with the mic, that won't something that, but y'all really making this fun for me.
Yeah, I appreciate that, bro.
I appreciate you.
Y'all hold it down.